is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are so.
From beautiful Atlanta, Georgia, once again, it's time for Braves baseball. We meet the Miami Marlins for the fourth and final time in this series. Big crowds filing in from all across the Southeast. Atlanta with a win today could take 3 out of 4 from the finish. Hi again, friends, with Tom Glavine and Joe Simpson. Chip Carey, welcome back to the ballpark, where last night the Braves took a walk on the wild side in the ninth inning. One of another fantastic finishes against this Marlins club, a team that's really had their troubles against the Braves this year, Joe.
Yeah, the Braves have had their number, especially here at SunTrust Park, where they have had no fewer than 4 walk-off wins against the Miami Marlins. Started with Brandon Phillips on consecutive days. 18 wins in their last at bat. That's tied for the most in the National League for the Atlanta Ball Club. Brandon the next day, well, the infielders couldn't decide who was going to catch that one. So that has added to the list. That was the second walk-off of 4 walk-off wins against the Marlins.
Yeah, no, they've certainly had their number, and a number of close games as well. And you know, Braves 5-0 in one-run games against the Marlins, and really have just beaten the Marlins every way they can, whether it's comeback wins, late wins, one-run games. I mean, you name it, they've done it. They've really, I guess, put a damper on whatever hopes the Marlins had for a wild card berth, perhaps. And you see they've outscored the Marlins 26-8 in the 18 from the 7th inning on. So early, late, often every which way possible, they've had the Marlins number.
That's one of the stories here in Atlanta today. The other, of course, is the weather. We know all about the problems in South Florida currently ongoing because of Hurricane Irma. Fellas, we're feeling those effects early today. The wind is really blowing at SunTrust Park. With that in mind, R.A. Dickey is the knuckleballer on the hill for Atlanta. We'll see how things work out for R.A. as he tries to beat up on the Marlins and Odrisamer Despaigne, who's the Miami pitcher. It's a breezy day at the ballpark. We'll wrap up the series between the Braves and Marlins. That lineup's first pitch coming up right after the break.
Hyundai Sunday on Fox Sports South is presented by your local Hyundai dealers.
It is a beautiful day in Atlanta. The Braves and the Marlins wrapping up our 4-game series. Let's get right to the weather. As we alluded, that is a big story all across the country, and certainly here as the first effects of Hurricane Irma are felt. 69 degrees, no humidity, but winds out of the east-northeast at 18. And fellas, they could be gusting up to 30 miles an hour today. So the hitters might profit. R.A. Dickey might profit. Then again, they might not. We just don't know, do we?
No, you don't. I mean, I would imagine. I'm curious to see what the knuckleball does for R.A. You see his career numbers against the Marlins in 17 games. Had a lot of success against the Fish, 11-3 with a 3 ERA. But yeah, I'm interested to see. You know, like I've said, you hate the wind blowing out to some respects, but as a pitcher, for me, it was wonderful for my changeup. So I'm curious to see if the wind helps RA's changeup. But no question, when the ball gets up in the air today, for anybody on the field, don't give up on it.
Yeah, it will be a test. His 4 keys to pitching success today relates to that. Certainly, number one, the wind. Which way will it cause his knuckleball to move? Up, down, sideways. He's hoping it will begin to dip a little bit. That's when he's at his best. And Marlins' number, yeah, those numbers Tom just told you about, he's had their number, 11-3 in his career. This year, 2 starts against them, 1-1, a 4.15 ERA, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts in 13 innings against him.
And R.A. Dickey has a very different looking Miami lineup for game 4 of the series. JT Realmuto is going to be the leadoff hitter on the Toyota starting 9. He's their catcher. Giancarlo Stanton is in right field, so automatically no Dee Gordon to worry about. Then you've got Christian Yelich in center, Tyler Moore in left. Moore has hit a couple of home runs against R.A. Dickey, and Marcell Ozuna also not in the lineup. Bohr, Anderson, Aviles, Rojas, and Despagne round things out for the Fish, who entered play today at 68 and 74. Their tragic number is 2. And by that I mean if the Braves beat Miami today and Washington wins, the Marlins will be eliminated, and thus the Nationals would win the National League East. So that's something else to think about.
This lineup tailor-made for R.A. Dickey. Guys plugged in who have had success against him. Aviles and Moore. Guys who have struggled against him, not playing.
So JT Realmuto is going to lead off, batting .272 on the year, 16 homers and 58 driven in. And the first one floats in for a called strike, says Mike Winters, and we're underway in Atlanta. Braves are sporting their home red uniform tops today.
Haven't seen those in a while.
And a little bit low. 2 balls and a strike for Realmuto, who's 3 out of 14 in the series. All right, he evens it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball into center field. That'll get down in front of Ender. Realmuto didn't hit it hard, but he muscled it into center. And the game starts with a leadoff hit by the Miami catcher.
It was trying to go down, but it started too high.
Yeah, started a little bit too high, and like Chip said, didn't get much of it. But he got enough of it to muscle it out there for a base hit.
It's kind of uncommon to see a catcher leading off a game, but Realmuto's done it before. This is his 6th start in the number 1 spot for Don Mattingly. And now Giancarlo Stanton is the hitter.
I can't think of too many other catchers other than Jason Kendall.
Yeah. That's who came to mind for me.
Stanton hit a first inning homer last night, his 54th of the year. 14 of his 54 have come in the first inning overall this year. One ball, 1 strike. Very short lead at first for Realmuto, and Stanton didn't get it.
Gretchen tells me the Braves are wearing their red unis today with the Star Spangled Braves on the front in honor of 9/11, since they will be off tomorrow.
Braves are traveling to Washington after the game. The Marlins head up to Philadelphia after the game. Braves' original travel plans were to leave tomorrow, but with the bad weather forecast for Atlanta, Braves are going to get out of town tonight. Stanton pops it up. See what the wind does to this one. It died down just as Dickey made that pitch. And Freeman has no trouble behind the first base bag in foul ground. Stanton's retired for the first out. So Christian Yelich bats with a man aboard. Yelich, another great series against the Braves. He's got 5 hits in the first 3 games. But a key play in the game last night came in the 7th inning when he doubled. Ozuna behind him hit a sinking line drive to left that Matt Kemp dived for and caught. Yelich never stopped running. He was halfway to home plate and was doubled off. It was a very big play for Miami, which had a chance to add to the 5 runs they had scored to that point. Hey! 0-2. Flowers framed it, didn't get the call from Winters behind the plate. And Yelich now a 1-2 count. He's slowly but surely bumping his average closer and closer to 300 now. Yelich at 291 for the year.
Such a fun hitter to watch because he uses the whole field. He's not trying to hit home runs, yet he's hit 16.
Bouncing ball to first. Freddie looks to second, has no play. Real Muto to second, 2 outs. So here becomes the big battle for R.A. Dickey in the game. Tyler Moore gets the start off the bench. One reason why he's 2 for 2 in this series with 3 RBIs, but he's 4 for 7 against R.A. Dickey with 2 homers. And as we suggested in the first game, you could guarantee that Don Mattingly was going to have him in the lineup against R.A. in today's game, and here he is. First pitch swing, ground ball to short. And the long throw to first is in time by Camargo. And Dickey pitches around a leadoff single to JT Realmuto. Here come the Braves. No score after a half inning. Winning 6-5 with 13 hits. They had base runners all over the place. We hope that continues here in Game 4 of the series. Ender Inciarte was the man that had the most patient at bat of the night. A bases loaded walk in the 9th inning provided the winning run. He's of course back atop the lineup. Albies, Freeman, Markakis, Tyler Flowers behind the plate. Matt Adams is starting left. Camargo gives Dansby Swanson the afternoon off. Rio Ruiz at third, and R.A. Dickey will face off against Odrisamer Despaigne.
0-3 on the year for the Marlins, and the Braves are catching them in the right place. They're pretty good in 5 home games, 0-2 with a 1.96, but 0-1 with a 6.5 on the road. So the Braves are going to want to look to add to that.
This is not Despaigne's first go-round in the big leagues. He's pitched with Baltimore, and he's pitched with the San Diego Padres, now with Miami. But Joe, as you said on Braves Live, this is truly a professional start for Despaigne, considering all that has to be on his mind today. Fly ball hit toward left. Moore on the run makes the catch. 1 out.
Yeah, first of all, he's from Cuba, so we already know about what Irma has done to Cuba. But his wife is still in Miami and expecting their first child any day. They were going to induce, and the doctors advised against it. Let's do this naturally and see when it happens. So he's got a lot on his mind. She's still in Miami with family, and perhaps even in the hospital. I'm not sure about that. Waiting to deliver their first child in the storm.
So we hope for the best for the Despaigne family today, as Ozzie Albies bats with 1 out and rolls one toward the Braves dugout for an even count.
This guy's pitched 35 innings. He's only given up 1 home run. He uses his fastball a lot, about 80% of the time, and 2 seamers that sink, cut, 4 seamers that can ride up in the zone a little bit, and what he calls his slider is more like a cutter. .30 years old, 6 feet 215.
1-2 pitch. He is way high. Ball 2.
Hey Chip,
sir.
Remember the first exhibition game here with the Yankees?
Yes.
The wind was blowing something like this, where the flags were starts toward the right field foul pole, but the ball was flying out to left field in what appeared to be against the wind, but everybody was saying the wind was kind of circulating and blowing out.
Might have the same effect today, especially for the left-handed hitters, as the 3-2 is downstairs, and Albies takes a 1-out walk. Braves got a ton of walks last night. Well, Nick Markakis in the early days of the ballpark here said he thought that that garage door that's out in center field, the fans down below probably can't see it. From our vantage point in the press box, we can. That garage door stays partially open, and he felt there was kind of a wind tunnel effect.
Right.
As the wind circled back to the outfield, it created sort of a vacuum, for lack of a better way of describing it. It helped pull balls, if not out, certainly deeper than perhaps ordinarily they would be hit.
Yeah, we had a little bit of that effect at the old Fulton County Stadium, where they had the 2 tunnels down both foul lines. And during the hot months, it felt like those 2 tunnels just kind of sucked air out of there, and the ball kind of flew down those lines. But you do get, I'm curious about that here. I mean, I've obviously never played here, but I know in some of those old cookie cutter stadiums, and even a little bit of Turner Field, where it was enclosed a little bit more than the outfield is here, you would get that swirling effect, and it'd be different on the field than the flags.
Been 161 home runs hit this year at SunTrust Park. 69 of them have been hit by the Braves. No balls, 2 strikes. And Freddie chased one up and out of the zone. He's struck out. 2 outs for Nick Markakis.
This fastball is good enough to be able to do that. That was 91, and he sits 92 to 94.
Nick Markakis back in the starting lineup after he tweaked his wrist the other night. Guys, we thought he had perhaps the most interesting at bat of the game. He didn't swing the bat once.
And we weren't sure that he could. Marlins didn't know that.
And still don't.
Yeah.
Well, he swung at that one and hammered it toward Yelich. And on the first pitch, Christian takes care of the Braves right fielder. Albies left stranded. And we head to the second inning. 0-0.
Baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. For all, for less.
No score after one here at SunTrust Park. R.A. Dickey back to work to face Miami. He's got Bohr, Anderson, and Aviles coming up. R.A. gave up a leadoff hit to Real Muto. A pop out and 2 ground outs later. He had a scoreless first inning. Miami's happy to have this guy back. Justin Bohr missed a lot of time with an oblique problem. Braves were hoping he would miss this series because he wears them out.
Doubled in his first at bat when he did come back.
Shift on for him as Dickey turns it loose and missed high. Bohr with 10 hits against the Braves this year, 3 of them homers, and 7 of his 63 runs batted in.
I guess he's one of those guys, Joe, that you would refer to as country strong.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a strong boy. He's had, like I said the other night, he's had a great year considering the start he got off to.
And they got him, I'm not going to say for nothing, but they got him from the Cubs, right?
Right.
Because there was no place for him to play over there.
Cubs had Anthony Rizzo ready to play first base.
A little bit of a Matt Adams type story in that he was available and expendable because there was no place for him to play for Matt Adams in St. Louis.
Bohr was acquired in the AAA phase of the Rule 5 draft. And he just took a walk to start the second inning. So those are the kinds of things that a franchise like the Marlins needs to have happen. Be very successful with your lower round draft picks. Pick up some guys in the Rule 5 and off waivers and hope they hit. This one did.
Well, look at that ball took off. That one was almost rising on its float in there.
Brian Anderson's been an impressive player. Our first look at the young third baseman for Miami. He's 4 for 8 in this series. That one's a little low. Ball 1. That's taken downstairs. The saddest part of this season from the Braves perspective, I guess, we haven't seen Martin Prado once. One of the most popular Braves ever. Now with the Marlins, have suffered through an injury plagued season. They don't know what to expect out of Martin next year. That's why Anderson's getting an extended look here in the final weeks of the year.
And the surprising thing about that from Martin's standpoint is that he's got about 120 at bats. 140 at bats, and yet the Braves haven't seen one of them.
Nope. All kinds of hamstring problems and other issues for Prado this year. And hopefully Martin and his family are safe and sound, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see him as we play Miami for the final regular season series. For the moment, it's scheduled at Marlins Park. That missed outside, and R.A. Dickey wants to know where it was. Long look in at Winters. Back-to-back walk starts inning number 2.
Mike Winters has been umpiring for a long time, and my experience watching him umpire is a real tight zone every time I've seen him back there. So
I would agree.
So with a knuckleball, it might even be more so.
That one got away, and the runners don't go anywhere.
Tyler came up like he had the ball in his glove, so it made everybody freeze.
There's a break.
And it's like Tom was talking about that one that's in front of the plate. You can't tell how far away it is. Same with the one that goes back. See, he's ready to throw.
I think he thought he had it.
I think he did too.
Yeah. And then it froze, and see the batter telling him go, but
first base runner could see that. Second base runner couldn't.
And that's why nobody moved, or at least advanced. And Avila's now 2 balls, no strikes. Avila's 1 for 8 against the Braves this year. There's a strike. And another.
2 straight fastballs.
yeah, doubled up. I like it.
And another. But that one missed. Flowers tried to steal that strike, and Dickey has walked the bases loaded, and now a longer look in at Mike Winters.
A little low.
I always wonder what a pitching coach comes out to say to a man throwing a knuckleball.
You know, it's probably less mechanical or strategy and more, hey, you know, just kind of giving you a breather, and particularly in this case where RA is clearly a little miffed at Mike Winters in the strike zone, where you just kind of want to give him a breather, get his mind off of that, you know, remind him, hey, 1 pitch and you're back in control of this inning, you get a ground ball, you know, probably that kind of stuff.
Needing a brief one, Miguel Rojas, the shortstop, has had a productive series. His first 2 hits of the year against Atlanta have come here at SunTrust Park. That's in for a strike.
When RA gets ahead in the count, like any pitcher, you've certainly got a big advantage, but you sure do make the hitters more aggressive on the subsequent pitches after he's strike 1. They realize you can actually throw the knuckleball for a strike. And I don't mean that because he's walked 3 guys. I mean that because if you haven't seen him a whole lot, or haven't faced a knuckleball a lot, you're not really quite sure what it's going to do.
He's gotten ahead of Rojas here. You've got the pitcher waiting next. Be a nice time for R.A. Dickey to pick up a strikeout.
Important pitch here, because if he misses and goes to a full count, he's going to have to throw a fastball.
Yes.
To avoid a walk.
And Rojas spoiled it and skied it out of play to the right. Line drive, a base hit to left. Bohr scores. Anderson on his way to third will be stopped. And Miami cashes in the first of 3 walks to begin the inning. Rojas with another RBI against the Braves. And it's 1-0 Miami.
That one was dipping.
Yeah, I had him out in front of it a little bit, but got enough to get it through the hole.
So Despaigne, who hasn't gotten a ton of run support, has 1 so far here in the second. Bases are loaded for him. Nobody out. And a quick strike. Trying to bunt. And went around. It's 0-2. Despaigne pitched for a number of years with the legendary Industriales team in Cuba. He defected to Europe in 2013. And then got to the major leagues first with the San Diego Padres. Was traded to Baltimore in February of 2016. And the Marlins picked him up off waivers this year. Lifetime 9-19 record as a major league pitcher.
.38 big league starts.
Bouncing ball, foul at third. A swing and a miss for the first out of the inning. So Despaigne 1 for 10 at the plate now. That's 3 strikeouts for him. First for RA. And now we go back to the top of the order.
He needed that. He needed to get that guy who hasn't gotten many at bats in the big leagues, certainly, especially against a knuckleball. But now a ground ball could get him out of the inning and only give up 1 run.
Real Muto, a first inning single. He was left stranded and he skies that one out of play. While we have a minute, want to send along congratulations to one of our great Fox Sports production associates. Christina Atkins is a proud new mom.
Yeah, that's great.
Daughter Bailey Elizabeth, born the other day.
Congratulations to the Atkins.
1 ball, 1 strike. You've enjoyed our series of driven features on Fox Sports. Christina does a lot of the producing and editing and production work for those great stories. As a liner over Ozzie Albies glove into right center field. That's going to score a couple of runs. And JT Realmuto with a stand-up double brings home Anderson and Aviles. And Miami has struck for 3 runs here in the second inning.
Nice play by Ender to prevent this from being a bases clearing double. Another good one. Another good knuckleball.
Yep.
Are you trying to help Ozzie jump a little bit on that one too?
And a play just a little too low, unfortunately.
Yeah, he needed Ozzie to be about 6'3".
Yeah. Stanton popped out his first time up. No balls and a strike. And fouled away. 54 homers, 113 RBIs for the Miami right fielder, whose season took off when he was moved to the number 2 spot in the lineup, and he employed that closed stance. Swing and a miss. So Stanton couldn't hit that butterfly ball. That's the second strikeout of the inning. And Christian Yelich, the hitter. A lot of pitches for R.A. Dickey. Number 49 to Yelich is called a strike. He bounced out to first in the first. Three walks in a row to start the inning. All 3 of them have scored. And a bouncing ball hit towards short. Camargo's got it, loads up, and the inning is over. 3 runs on 2 hits. It's the Marlins' turn to cash in some free passes. Big day for JT Realmuto so far.
Park, and earlier today the Braves made it aware that today is Childhood Cancer Awareness Day, and of course that honors those who are fighting or who have battled childhood cancer. You saw the sizable check right there. Many folks bought tickets today because of that, and it's something that the Braves wanted everyone to be aware of. And on that vein, well, Tyler Flowers started an auction on Friday. It's a little bit of Tyler's favorite things, and we take a look at the sports wagon there, because inside of that thing, autographed bat, autographed ball, personalized batting gloves, because we know that Tyler is indeed a designer. And you can go to that on Braves.com, charity auctions, and the winner of that and the money raised on that will benefit pediatric cancer charities. So that in the mind of everyone in the Braves organization and a lot of you in Braves country, but we want to make it aware to all of you watching right now, Chip.
And Andres, Joe, and I love that chest protector he's got. He could put that up for auction, and that would bring some big bucks.
You bet. And Jason Mott and his foundation created the K Cancer T-shirt movement. You've seen some of the players wearing those around Major League Baseball. Jason was kind enough to give us one up in the booth. And fans can purchase these shirts if they'd like. As that one's cracked towards Stanton and right. And he makes the play for the first out. It's a good looking shirt. They're $12. And when you go to the Jason Mott Foundation, if you buy the shirt on his foundation website, $10 will go to the Jason Mott Foundation, and $10 will go to the Players Charity. For example, if you went to Matt Adams' website, purchased it that way. So great cause, and Jason and his family tirelessly work, as Andre said, raising money and creating awareness for childhood cancer. Tom, I know a cause that's near and dear to yours and Chris Glavin's heart.
Yeah, we've been involved with Cure Childhood Cancer for, gosh, over 13 years now. So it's a fight that we all continue to fight, and pray to God the day comes where we're winning the battle.
Matt Adams gets the start in left. He pulls this ball to second. Fearless with a throw. 2 up, 2 down for Despaigne, who leads 3-0 after an inning and a half.
Despaigne pitched a great ball game his last time out. He got beat 2-1 by the Nationals in Washington. He went 7 innings, gave up only 5 hits and 1 run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. So he was around the plate, getting outs without strikeouts. And like I said, he uses his fastball about 80% of the time.
Margot pulls one foul at first.
I don't know if this, you'd have to come up with some other examples for me, but it seems to me a lot of Cuban pitchers have a big, high, jerky leg kick. El Duque, remember him?
Yep.
Watch that. There's a little bit of that in his leg kick.
Yeah, that's very El Duque reminiscent.
And so is the result of that at bat. 3 up, 3 down. Strikeout number 2 for Despaigne, who leads 3-0. It's Miami 3, Braves nothing. And folks, we appreciate the great work that Andre Aldridge is doing for us down reporting for the Braves clubhouse. You may have noticed that our colleague Paul Bird hasn't been with us for the last couple of days, and with great sadness we report that Paul's dad passed away, Larry Bird, who was 82 years of age a couple of days ago. As Paul said, his dad Larry was his original catcher and a guy that was so inspirational to him, as you would certainly expect. And Paul, we wanted you to know and your whole family to know how sorry we are for your loss, and hope that you and your family are finding comfort in these very, very difficult days.
Hugs all around from all of us, Paul.
Absolutely. Prayers, hugs, you name it.
R.A. Dickey back to work as Tyler Moore takes a fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. Guys, the question we asked at the start of the game, the wind, the weather, what effect would that have on R.A. Dickey? I think it's safe to say 3 walks in a row. It has to this point had certainly some effect. How great effect, I guess we won't know for sure until afterwards.
I'd be concerned if it were only walks, but he's made good pitches on some that got hit. That was probably the more puzzling thing to him.
This one's lifted into shallow right. Markakis is there, and he's got it. Moore's the first out.
If his knuckleball's not finding the strike zone, that's one thing. But if he makes a good pitch with it, and then they get a base hit and drive in runs, that's very frustrating, because the one that Real Muto hit for sure was sinking.
Yeah, it's funny. He certainly has been at odds a little bit with Mike Winters, and particularly on the low strike. So you think, well, maybe he'd try to elevate that pitch a little bit and make some mistakes that way, but it's been the low ones that have gotten hit.
And that's what he wants to do. He wants to keep the ball down in the strike zone. So can he afford, as a knuckleball pitcher, to alter his strategy to countermand what they're trying to do at the plate?
I wouldn't. And I certainly wouldn't just based on whatever the umpire's doing.
No, you got to stick to your game plan. I mean, God knows I went through that enough. And it's not like you can say, okay, I'll start throwing the ball down the middle.
Yeah.
Because that's not going to work out too well either.
Nope.
So you have to find a way to stay stubborn and just hope that over time you'll start to get more and more of those borderline calls go your way.
He's ahead of Bohr, 1-2. Bohr walked and scored the first run, and now he's going to be struck out. He'll concede the result, and Dickey has his 3rd strikeout of the game.
I had to look because I wasn't sure if that was a fastball or not.
Right.
That was an 81-mile-an-hour knuckleball, but it didn't move.
No, that one kind of hung, and the strikeout to Stanton kind of hung. And then 2 of the base hits, like we say, he gave up, were those ones that are down, borderline strike at the knees, maybe below, and had given up hits on those.
Isn't it a funny game? So 2 of the pitches that were bad turned out to be good, and several of the pitches that were good turned out to be bad results.
Yeah, that's why you can't just always assume good pitches are going to be good results.
Anderson pops one out of play, foul, and he's quickly behind. 0-2. Still a manageable game. It's 3-0. Hopefully R.A.'s gotten the bad one out of the way and can go deep today. A swing and a miss takes care of Anderson. 4 strikeouts, back-to-back punch-outs, and R.A.'s coming up second in the home 3rd. It's 3-0 Miami. Turn against Mr. Despaigne, trailing 3-0. Watch the drive to the pennant with MLB.TV every night on every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live. Plus, get a free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Go to MLB.TV for all the details. Rio Ruiz leads off, batting .206 for the year. And he takes ball 1. Three homers, 14 RBIs for the young Braves infielder. He had his 6-game hitting streak interrupted in the Marlins 7-1 win here the other night.
Still 8 for 27 though, 296 mark since he got called back up.
He's looked good at third base too, hasn't he? Made some tough plays look easy. As the pitch way inside and low, 3 balls and a strike. Braves have won 9 of the first 14 games head to head with Miami, including 6 of 9 here. 5 one-run wins, 4 walk-off wins. The Braves have scored 26 runs against them from the 7th inning on. That's been the recipe for the Braves. Got to come back today if they're to take 3 out of 4 against Don Mattingly's club, which heads to Philadelphia next. So the last thing Despaigne wanted to do was walk somebody with a 3-run lead, but that's his fate, his second walk. And Dickey is the hitter, and he pops it up left side. Anderson right by the third base bag, a step in front of it, and Dickey pops out for the first of the inning.
Boy, about 20 feet deeper, and that's a nice hit.
Yeah. Off the bat, I thought it was maybe going more towards the shortstop.
Yeah.
Not just going to fall in, but.
Here's Ender. He flied out to left his first time up. Inciarte starts action with 184 hits for the Braves. Still waiting for that ever elusive 0-for series from Charlie Blackmon of Colorado. It just doesn't happen. Blackmon, at last report, led the National League in hits. And still does with 195 of them for the Rockies, who beat the Dodgers again last night, by the way. LA still has a commanding lead in the National League West of 10 games, but they've lost 9 games in a row, 8 in a row at home. And while that division lead is unlikely to disappear entirely, this one's poked into center field by Ender, a base hit. Leo around second. He's on his way to third, and Atlanta's got him at the corners. And something else the Dodgers are playing for, and that's home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
That was a good pitch. Turned it over a little bit, down and away. Here's what's a crack up, though. Not if you're a Diamondback fan, but Arizona's been fighting their tail off and just wiping the Dodgers out and wiping that lead out, and then they play San Diego and lose 2 in a row. It's like there's a letdown.
Well, San Diego, a club that many thought was going to lose well over 100 games this year, as that one's hammered by Ozzie into right field. Stanton plays it on a hop. Ruiz will score the first run for the Braves. A 9-game hitting streak for Albies. That's his 17th RBI. And the Braves come charging right back. They cash in a leadoff walk themselves. But the Padres with 65 wins.
Nice turn on the ball there on a slider coming to him.
They have more wins than the Giants, the Reds, the Phillies, the Mets, and the Braves this year at this point in the season. So Andy Green's done a nice job out west under tough circumstances. A strike to Freeman. And that home field advantage for LA, that's been trimmed only 5 games. The Nationals are only 5 games behind Los Angeles in the quest for the best record in National League play. Upstairs to Freddie, 1 ball, 1 strike. Fly ball right and right at Stanton. There's the catch and no advance. So Freddie's 0 for 2. 2 outs, 2 on. 3-1 game. And that brings up Nick Markakis, our SunTrust Confidence Player of the Game.
Last 20 games, he'd been red hot for that injury to his wrist, the diving catch the other night. May have slowed him down a little bit, although he did hit the ball hard his first time up today. Line drive to center. Another superb year for Nick.
That's off the plate, ball 1. He's playing in his 141st game. 145 hits, 69 RBIs. He's scored 70, 62 walks. That walks number leads the team. 365 on base. Now 3-0. Leadoff walks are often problematic.
It's amazing how often they score.
Will Nick have a green light here? Let's find out together, shall we? The pitch is taken high. Now Atlanta's got him loaded. His 3rd walk. And that'll bring up Tyler Flowers. Tyler has been terrific this year with the bases loaded, and he continues to be. A shot past short is going to score a couple of runs and tie the game. Tyler Flowers' 4th bases loaded hit of the year brings home Inciarte and Albies, who is streaking around 3rd base, and Atlanta's got 3 runs in the 3rd.
That's the cutter. Stayed in the middle of the plate and ate up Rojas. Not much he could do with that. 45 RBIs for Tyler.
He and Kurt Suzuki have been terrific behind the plate and at the plate. That combo, our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot.
When you're in the top 5 in any of those offensive ranks, let alone all of those, what great work by both gentlemen.
Don't forget the hit by pitches too.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd rather, but they've gotten it done all year long.
I said it before, Tommy, and I think I said it when you weren't working with us. There's pretty much a sponsorship for everything in baseball. Snap throw back to second, and everybody's safe. Shouldn't there be an award for the guy that gets hit with the most pitches?
Yeah, we should come up with something, I would think.
It's got to be, as I said to Joe, it's got to be sponsored by Target.
Yes, for
Right?
sure. Yeah.
One ball, one strike for Matt Adams.
One of the things the Marlins wanted Despaigne to do when he was sent back to AAA was to be more aggressive. Early in the year, there were a couple of times where he walked 4 guys back-to-back starts. They thought he was doing a lot of picking, trying to nibble, and he did come back more aggressive, getting a lot more contact.
Especially in that last start, he only walked 2 guys in 7 innings. He's walked 2 guys in the 3rd inning alone today, 2 of 3 in the game. Braves have 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 walks here in the 3rd. They've tied it up. So Markakis and Flowers will get a head start with a full count. Fouled it away.
Had a good cut at it too. Marlins are going to be a little short-handed toward the end of their bullpen today too, with some guys that have worked 3 days in a row. So they needed Despaigne to pitch deep into this game.
Yeah, we commented on that last night. Steckenrider pitched in 3 straight. Ellington pitched in 3 straight. Barry Claude pitched in 2 of the 3 games. Threw a lot of pitches. Now the 3-2 again is high. Another walk. So here's Camargo. He struck out looking in the 2nd inning. He bats with the bases full here and 2 outs. This is Johan's 2nd bases loaded at bat of the year.
We'll be patient and get a good pitch.
Yeah, between the walks last night to end the game, and now you come out today, get a 3-0 lead, and 3 walks in the inning and 3 runs. Mattingly's got to be pulling his hair out.
Line drive left field. That's a base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes Flowers around 3rd. They're going to run on Tyler Moore, and Johan Camargo puts Atlanta in front.
Camargo drove in 2 last night. He gets 2 right here. 2-seamer a little elevated. Nice piece of hitting by Johan to go the other way.
A 5-run 3rd continues for the Braves. Rio Ruiz with 2 on, 2 out. And didn't get it. Strike 1.
So far, 2 of the 3 walks have scored, including that leadoff walk.
Marlins bullpen has begun to work. Two balls, one strike. Nicolino is the first man to loosen up. And a high towering fly ball to center. Yelich retreats and he has no trouble at the track. Rio hit it hard but to the deepest part of the park. Great inning for Atlanta. They cash in 3 walks and score 5 runs. It's 5-3 after 3.
To the top of the 4th inning, and the Braves have a 5-3 lead in this contest. One of the runs scored in the last inning, scored by Nick Markakis. And you know, Nick Markakis can do a lot of things. One of the things that he can't do, though, is watch a game patiently. Because as I watched him wander the dugout, not being able to play over the past few days, you could tell he was out of sorts, not knowing what to do with himself. I told him earlier today, would it be fair to say you were antsy? He smiled and said yes. So sensing an opportunity, I kept talking. And I asked him, would he agree with me that he almost seemed chatty in the dugout? He lost the smile, but then he just repeated, chatty? Yeah, I was a little bit chatty. I said, that's not you. He goes, no, it's not. That's why I need to be playing, guys.
No, it's not. It's not. Nick's a very quiet man. And it is nice to have him back out there. As R.A. Dickey now has been given a lead. Let's see how he does. With a 2-run advantage, Despaigne coughed up a 3-run lead thanks to the Braves sending 10 to the plate in the home 3rd.
Yeah, Andre's right. For Nick to take a day off is a big deal. For him to sit for basically 3 days is an even bigger deal. So I'm sure he was stalking around.
Yeah, it's funny how those guys that play every day just have no idea how to just sit there and relax and watch a game for a day or two. Just can't do it.
0-2 pitch. Did he go?
Yes, he did.
Nope.
Mike Winters would have rung him up. He is down there. He did last night.
Oh man,
mercy. That would have been a double down the line if he'd have hit it.
Well, justice is served. He chased one, and R.A. has struck out the last 3 hitters in succession. That's 5 strikeouts for him. Good start to his 4th inning. And here's Rojas, who had one of the Marlins' 2 RBI hits back in their 3-run 2nd inning. Popped him up. That'll be handled by Rio at 3rd base. Quickly 2 away. This is what you love to see veteran pitchers do. Get a lead, get 3 quick outs, get your offense right back into the batter's box for a chance to add on some more.
Yeah, he set down 7 in a row, and those strikeouts in the 3rd inning were quick ones. They weren't elongated by a lot of foul balls or any of that. He got after it.
And he's got the pitcher, Despaigne, who takes a strike. One more strike, and then RA will lead off the Braves' 4th inning. And fouled away.
Is it just me, or did it cool off all of a sudden?
A little bit.
Yep.
Thought maybe it was just the wind shifting, but temperature dropped.
And that's going to be happening quite a bit over the next 24 to 36 hours here in Atlanta. Winds are going to pick up. Tropical storm watches, I believe, for the entire state. Already some school cancellations, we understand, for tomorrow here in Metro Atlanta.
Is that right?
Yep.
Just got the notice for my guys canceled tomorrow.
Bouncing ball. Dickey makes the play.
Look at that athlete.
And he takes care of Despaigne.
Love it.
Nice play by R.A. Dickey, who set down 8 in a row. Get after it, Tommy. Look at that. Got his uniform dirty and everything. Love it. 5-3. Atlanta the lead in game 4.
Baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet and the most Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home. And by Delta Airlines.
Joe, Tom, and Chip with you from Atlanta. Andre Aldridge as well, doing great work downstairs for us. Gretchen Caney, our producer today. Mike Miller, our director. Our great Fox Sports crew, including our stats man, Drew Jenkins, down in the truck. Jared Burleson, the exceptional Jared Burleson, upstairs with us as we wrap up this homestand with the Marlins. And finally, our friends from Miami have decided to take on the Burgerizza.
It's about time.
We almost shamed them into that.
My goodness, eating strawberries and bananas and stuff over there.
Really?
Those guys are way too healthy to broadcast in the National League East.
No kidding.
You'd think they were at Wimbledon.
Well, they don't know what they've been missing.
They really don't.
As R.A. digs in and takes a strike. Todd Hollandsworth and Rich Walls taking the challenge.
I want to see how neatly he eats that
They're
thing.
not going to eat it. They're just going to look at it. And
Oh,
see
it's
what
just-
I see.
I can't. Todd won't even look that way.
No, he's like frightened of it, I think.
Like if he looks at it, he'll get the calories or something. There's out number one as Dickey skies out to Christian Yelich.
They know we're giving them grief.
Well, you know what they're saying? Those three guys look like they eat one of these each every day.
Yes.
That's what they're saying. But our pals at Delaware North have done such a great job for us all summer long, and we understand they're going to be kind enough to bring us some more treats before we hit the road, which is good. Can't wait for that. As Ender bats with the bases empty and one out, Despaigne working out of the stretch.
Yeah, and our high home camera operator Tim Smith throwing his hands in the air like, well, what about the camera operators? Down here starving to death. Yeah, you look like you are. I feel like I'm talking to a rodeo clown.
Well, with that hat, you very well could be. 1 ball, 1 strike. Broken bat, slowly hit out to second. Nice play, and Bohr makes the grab at the first base bag for the second out.
Good play there.
Did you ever have a stretch, Tommy, where nobody on, you went to the stretch, things weren't going well?
No. I don't think I would have wanted to admit to myself that things weren't going well enough that I didn't want to pitch out of the windup. But that's my stubbornness probably more than anything.
Upstairs to Ozzie, who has a walk, a single, a run, and an RBI. 9-game hitting streak for the Braves kid second baseman. He'll take that to Washington. It's popped out of play. Pitching matchups for that National Series are set. Julio Teheran and Gio Gonzalez on Tuesday. Luis Gohara, Max Scherzer on Wednesday, and then Mike Foltynewicz and Tanner Roark on Thursday. The Braves are right back home Friday night.
Those are 3 good matchups. Gohara and Scherzer in the middle game. Scherzer's 14-5. Gio Tuesday night is 14-6, and Tanner Roark got his season turned around. He's 12-9.
Stayed high, I suppose. Despaigne wonders as well. 3-1 the count. Three balls, 2 strikes. And time requested. And it's popped out of play left side. We'll do it again. Speaking of Washington, they're hosting the Phillies. No score in that game. It is the 6th inning at Nats Park. Blake Lively, no, Ben Lively. Blake Lively wouldn't be pitching today. Excuse me.
No, but I'd go watch her pitch.
Yep, sorry. Ben Lively and Steven Strasburg, as that one's outside. I'd rather go watch Blake Lively pitch than Ben Lively these days, but that's another story. So that one's scoreless in Washington. Nationals stopped Dubal Herrera's 21-game hitting streak yesterday. And Rhys Hoskins hit another homer.
Golly.
Yesterday. That's 14 of them in 30 games for Philadelphia. Here's Freddie 0 for 2. Kind of ironic. I had a Kevin Willis moment with the Marlins.
Yes, you did.
Probably not the first or the last. As Freddie digs in, 1 ball, no strikes. And up and away. Ball 2. Tons of walks for both starters in this game. This is the prototypical 3-outcome affair. Strikeout, walk, and a few hits sprinkled in between. ripped and headed for the seats. And on the ricochet, it bounces back onto the field of play. 2-1. Cardinals have taken a 1-0 lead over the Pirates. That game's in the second. St. Louis is picking up steam. Cardinals have won 8 of their last 10 games. They've caught Milwaukee in the Central. They are tied for second, 3 games behind the Cubs. I think they have games left head to head with Chicago, by the way. So don't count out the Cardinals. St. Louis also 3 back in the wild card race. And another walk.
Wow.
All of this, 2 outs. And has Don Mattingly seen enough? Looks like the answer to that is yes. Despaigne goes 3 2/3 innings, 5 walks, 5 runs so far, and a couple of strikeouts. 5-3 Atlanta. Appreciate their great fandom as the Braves continue to bat here in the home 4th inning. I shortchanged Despaigne 1 walk. He's got 6 as he departs after 3 2/3 innings, and that brings on Justin Nicolino in relief.
12 games, 8 starts. Was in their rotation for a while, but a .340 average against him probably nixed that a little bit. Fastball sits low 90s. Changeup, curveball. Changeup and a curveball.
He was part of that big haul that Miami got from the Toronto Blue Jays back in 2012. He came with Henderson Alvarez. Boy, was he good until he hurt his shoulder. Anthony DeSclafani, who was later traded. Yunel Escobar, Adeiny Echeverria, Jake Marisnick, and Jeff Mathis. For Emilio Bonifacio, John Buck, Mark Burley, Josh Johnson, Jose Reyes, and Cash.
This kid was a guy with some bad arm troubles. That was a heck of a pitcher, Josh Johnson. Tried to get his arm fixed and come back. It just wasn't the same.
Nicolino, a 2nd-round pick by the Blue Jays out of University High School in Orlando. 2 balls and a strike for Nick Markakis. 2 runners on for the Braves, who just had a 5-run third inning. And that one lifted toward left, but right at Tyler Moore. Markakis scalded that ball, but it's retired, and that's the inning. Braves strand a pair. We head to the 5th. Cam Lookin from high atop the Comcast building here at SunTrust Park. Nice crowd has gathered again for Game 4 of the series. We had 34,000 here last night, and a good number of them were evacuees from South Florida. Talking with Beth Marshall before the game, the last 2 days there have been approximately 10,000 free tickets distributed to those displaced residents from Florida, South Carolina, and coastal Georgia. And so many of them were appreciative of that very generous gesture that allowed them to take their minds off of the devastation that's happening at home.
Exactly. I think that's what we've noticed the most, is that they've got a smile on their face. They're happy to be here because they're not thinking about what might be going on.
And what a great job by the Braves too, not just for the fans but for the Marlins too. I'll explain in a moment. As that one's in for a strike. They brought their families, wives, kids, pets in many cases, with them on this road trip, which continues on to Philadelphia, and they frankly don't know when they're going to get back. And being cooped up in a hotel room in a road city with your family and kids, even in the best of circumstances, can be a very stressful situation.
Well, players are used to it,
but the families and the kids aren't.
They are not.
And so the Braves went out of their way with several attractions around town, helping provide passes, places to eat, places to go, things to see, as that one's past Camargo for a 3-hit day for Real Muto, just to help take away some of the family pressures so the players can concentrate on a very difficult job at hand and then get to the ballpark. So well done. And that hit snaps the 8-in-a-row streak retired by R.A. Dickey. Real Muto 3 for 3 out of the leadoff spot. So here's Stanton. He represents the tying run. And had a good cut. Fouled back.
Nice save there by Tyler Flowers to keep that runner at first.
Ripped into right field for Stanton. That is the other noticeable difference, Joe, for Giancarlo Stanton this year as opposed to any other season we've seen the Marlins slugger.
No doubt about it, Chip. He may be hitting more home runs and may feel better about where he is at the plate, not worried about getting hit with a pitch. But he is driving the ball to right field. It was an accident if he did it before because he was bailing.
Yelich shoots one over the shortstop's head. That's in for a hit. Real Muto's going to score. Stanton on his way to third. The throw comes to third, and that allows Yelich to go to second base. That didn't work out very well, and it's a 5-4 game.
Ender's a Gold Glover, and he's got a good arm. Sometimes you have to not attempt to do what you think you're capable of doing, and that is try to throw out that lead runner. Keep the double play in order.
You got to rein yourself in sometimes.
Yes, that's good description.
Yelich kind of rounded the bag, waited to see, and as soon as he saw that throw go to third base, he cruised into second.
And RA's nemesis Tyler Moore is the hitter. He's 0 for 2 today, however. But Miami's made it a 1-run game, 5-4. They bat in the 5th. Tyler Moore is from Braves country, out of Mississippi State, out of Northwest Rankin High School, and was with the Braves organization last year. Atlanta acquired him in a trade with Washington during spring training 2016. And then after the season, the Marlins signed Moore as a minor league free agent. I recall he broke in with the Washington Nationals in 2012. But he was a 16th round pick. And now again, RA with a long look in at Mike Winters. 3 balls and a strike. That's hit to short. There's only one play, and it's to first.
Double play ball, though, if you hold Yelich at first base.
Right. They would have gotten the tie, but you'd have 2 outs and nobody aboard. Now you've got a runner in scoring position, 1 out, and the game's tied 5 apiece. So Moore puts it in play. Stanton scores. And now you've got to worry about Bohr, who's walked, scored, and struck out. That's lifted toward left. And Adams is there to make the play. Bohr hit it hard, but he's the second out. And Brian Anderson's coming up. The other Brian Anderson we know is hard at work today, we presume, in Chicago, where the Cubs have taken a 1-0 lead over Brian's Milwaukee Brewers. Brian, the fine play-by-play voice for the Brew Crew. And a hammer job down the left field line, just foul. That was close.
Too close.
Milwaukee's not willing to go easily in the Central. They clobbered the Cubs yesterday, 15-2. Hernan Perez had a 5 RBI day for the Brewers. And in for a strike to Anderson. It's 0-2.
We've got some good players on that team. Perez, Santana, Braun, of course, Thames.
Losing Jimmy Nelson certainly won't help Milwaukee, and the way it happened is a shame. Diving back to first base, he hurt his shoulder and is done for the season for Milwaukee. Today they've got Zach Davies pitching, and a ground ball hit to the right side. Freeman with a backhand leads RA to the bag beautifully, and that retires the side. The Marlins cash in 3 consecutive singles to tie the game in the 5th. 5-5 with Tyler Flowers coming up.
Sunday on Fox Sports South is presented by your local Hyundai dealers.
Hyundai Sunday from Atlanta. Beautiful car, pretty day. Love that color, man. Electric blue, it looks like. As another good crowd is gathered for the Braves and Marlins. Miami's scored a couple of runs in this 5th inning to tie it up at 5 apiece. Flowers, Matt Adams, and Johan Camargo, the trio, coming up first against Justin Nicolino. Flowers with a bases loaded 2-run single his last time up. He's 1 for 2 so far in the game.
Solid year for him. Up to 280.
There's a good pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, a couple of good off-speed pitches. This time of the season, it's coming out pitches. A couple of good off-speed pitches.
Downstairs. And 2-2.
Could have been worse.
5 runs, 6 hits for Miami. 5 runs, 4 hits for the Braves. So far in game 4 of the series. And popped up to right field. Stanton comes in, and he's got it for the first out. Here's Matt Adams. He drew one of the 6 walks Adrisamer Despaigne issued in his 3 2/3 inning stint. But his offense bailed him out. Can't win it, can't lose it. It's battle of Dickey versus Nicolino at the moment. No balls, 1 strike. And that missed him at even count. Wind seems to have calmed down just a touch. It was blowing a lot more briskly at the start of the game today. With the cloud cover, it has cooled off. And that caught a corner. It's 1-2. Pop fly out of play.
I know they were high on this guy last year. Made 13 starts, went 3-6. The year before he made 12 starts, went 5-4 with some good numbers. So I think the expectations were high that he would, in his 3rd year, really take a step forward, but still hasn't happened for him yet. He's just 25.
That ball is down the right field line, and it's a long run for Stanton. He just reached out and hooked that ball. So Adams with a 1-out double, his 22nd 2-base hit. And the Braves have the go-ahead run in scoring position in the home 5th.
His numbers against left-handed pitchers haven't been all that good, but he sure covered that breaking ball away.
Yeah, it's a pretty good pitch. Just kind of got out in front a little bit, flipped the bat, hooked it down the line.
Nice to be strong.
Is he all right?
Kind of grabbed his leg, didn't he?
No sign of a request for athletic trainer Jim Lovell to come out. And the Marlins are going to walk Camargo and set up the double play chance and go lefty-lefty here with Rio Ruiz.
I still am not used to this intentional walking in.
I don't like it with guys in scoring position.
Every time I see the guy start walking on the batter's box, I'm like, oh my God, what happened? Where did he,
right.
Where's he going? What did he hurt?
Well, I mean, I understand, go ahead and get it over with, but you know, with runners in scoring position.
Here's the answer to your question, Chip, about
does he need some attention here?
About Matt. Yeah, after he rounded first, he kind of reached down and grabbed the side or back of his leg. Right here. Didn't make a big deal about it, but he did grab it, and he's coming out.
So after hooking a double into the right field corner and running the bases, Matt Adams is not able to continue. Hopefully it's not anything serious. And from one Adams to another, it'll be Lane Adams, I believe, that's going to come on and run at second base. And one would think he'll stay in and play left field when we get to the 6th inning.
It's one of those times where you're on the bench. You always have to be stretched out and loose. Move around. Don't just get stationary in the dugout and watch the game, because anything could happen that would require you to go in the game right away. And in an important spot here with the game tied.
So 2 on, 1 out. And taken low by Rio Ruiz. The Marlins have walked 7 Braves in this game. 2 of them have scored so far. Dickey's issued 3 walks. All 3 of those have come home. So we're tied up 5 apiece. But my point before the Adams injury, I understand go ahead and issuing the intentional walk. I hate it when there are runners in scoring position, however, because you just never know. One might get away, might get a run that way.
No, there are plenty of guys that are pitching that are probably happy that they don't have to throw those 4 intentional pitches, because it is not easy for some guys.
And I think I could understand why. You are trained to throw the ball in the strike zone, and then all of a sudden in a clutch key situation, okay, don't throw a strike,
right,
or anything close to the plate,
right, and you got to take a little off, and you know, some guys have a hard time with that. I mean, that's why you see guys have hard times making throws to bases on ground balls, because it's not that same effort level, and when they start trying to aim it a little bit or take a little off and aim it, bad things happen.
2-1 pitch. And now ball 3.
Well, there's a player on the Braves team that dislikes it. Wish they would do away with it, and that's Nick Markakis. Very much a traditionalist, and he foresees the World Series in a situation like that with the runner in scoring position or at third base and not having to make those poor tosses.
3-1 is caught on, fouled back.
Good swing. Rio's 4 for 8 against left-handed pitching so far.
Adonis Garcia waits on deck. He'll hit next, barring a double play. Rio would love to score Lane Adams and put the Braves in front.
And give RA a chance to get a win.
Strike 3 over the outside corner. Nice comeback for Nicolino, as he has his first strikeout. Now it will be Garcia with 2 on, 2 out.
That's just a good pitcher's pitch there.
So Dickey goes 5 innings, 5 runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. And 6 hits. So let's see what Adonis can do here. The pitch missed inside. .88 pitches for RA in those 5 innings. The second and the 5th were problematic for him. Those were the innings that saw the Marlins score 3 and 2 runs respectively. Ground ball deep short. Throw to third is going to be in time.
What a nice play. I don't know if he's going to be safe or not, but that was on both ends.
Lane Adams had to beat the throw on the force play to third. He thinks he beat it. The Marlins are coming off the field after a great throw from the shortstop and a heads-up play by Anderson to get to the bag.
That's a tough catch for him too, where the ball's coming right out of his head. I don't know how it missed him.
I don't either.
Keep his foot on the bag. Yep.
Oh, Lane didn't go to the base. He was sliding into him.
So that ends the Atlanta threat in the 5th inning. No decision for R.A. Dickey. We're through 5. 5-5 the score.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Sherwin-Williams.
Off we go to inning number 6. It's a 5-5 draw so far. Dan Winkler will follow R.A. Dickey. Lane Adams, as we presumed, will stay in the game and play left field for Matt Adams, who had to leave after doubling with 1 out in the just completed Braves 5th.
Good numbers for Dan on his return from the disabled list. How about the batting average? That means I got to check and see how many hits he's allowed.
I'm guessing not many.
Yeah, I'd say.
Boy, you are on top of your game,
Right.
aren't you?
Captain, thanks, Captain Obvious.
Strike 1 to Aviles, who's walked, scored. And
Well, you got to give it to him. He's right. 7 innings, 2 hits.
Dan has to finish this season on the Braves roster and a few more days next year to have the Rule 5 status erased from him. We were surprised by that too, Tom. Even with the time on the DL, that apparently doesn't count as roster time.
I mean, I guess to a certain extent I get it for this year, but I'm really surprised it has to carry over to next year.
Mm-hmm.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. This guy's got a live arm. And he strikes out the Miami second baseman to start the inning. 1 up, 1 down.
Who was the best needler on those good teams in the 90s?
Oh, gosh. Well, Smoltz was certainly up there.
Well, he was nonstop.
Yeah.
Was there anybody that kind of came out of nowhere, you know, and would fire some nice ones?
Yeah.
Make you appreciate it?
I mean, Nagel was pretty good. He was Blauser for sure.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We remember walking in.
Charlie O'Brien.
That cut to the quick, Blauser.
Yeah. We were walking in the corner of that.
The old clubhouse.
Oh,
yeah.
my.
It's just yeah, that was the Bermuda Triangle over there
Yes,
with him and Lemmer and Charlie O'Brien. It's like, stay out of there.
I think Maddox was over there, too.
He was close over there, yeah. Not in the corner, I don't think, but.
Yeah, you knew when Charlie hung up a deer head in there.
Yeah.
On his locker. Yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike. Rojas drove in a run his first time up. He popped up to third back in the 4th inning. Nicolino is scheduled next. And a shot to left field. Lane's going to have to play that on a hop. And Rojas 2 for 3.
With his bullpen a little depleted because they've had so much work in consecutive days, Don Mattingly's going to let Nicolino hit for himself and try to bunt a guy over and give him an extra inning or two.
You know, it's almost hard for me to believe that you can talk about a depleted bullpen that has 11 guys in it.
Couldn't agree more.
Rojas broke too far off the bag. Throw wide of first. And did he hurt himself?
Looks like it.
With a hard slide.
Grabbing his shoulder a little bit.
They have gone through their share of shortstops this year via trade and injury.
Missed sign. Thought it was a hit and run.
Yeah, it's like he dove back into the bag and just stuck.
Uh-huh. Ooh. Yeah, this will show it. That left hand is kind of stuck in the dirt. Stay in.
Yeah, I think he saw hit and run and the pitcher saw bunt.
Right.
So I'm going to err on the side of the pitcher and thinking that he was not getting the hit and run. But
I'm with you.
I don't want to short sell him on. Maybe he handles the bat well. I don't know.
That one's taken low. 2 balls, no strikes. Matt Adams, we understand, left with a tight right hamstring. Pretty bunt. And there's one play. It's shoveled to first. The sacrifice chases Rojas to second. 2 outs, and Real Muto the batter, and he's had himself a great day. 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Well, we've talked a lot about what the Marlins might do this offseason, what they may be forced to do under new ownership, or what ownership is going to try to do, shed payroll. I don't know what kind of money JT Real Muto makes, but if they want to get pitching, this is a guy they could trade and get an awful lot for. I like watching this guy play a lot.
I would say, you know, they could get a pretty good haul for him, but a lot of it depends on their depth in the minor leagues. If they've got another catcher in waiting, okay, dangle him out there. But it's, you're going to do that with one of their key position players, you better have somebody else ready to step in.
No balls and a strike. You can always get a catcher back in return in a deal, but catching isn't their problem. Pitching is their problem.
Right.
This guy can play first base. He can hit in the middle of your lineup. He's shown he can lead off and do a good job. He's behind 0-2 here, trying to continue a 3-for-3 day. This is his 13th 3-hit game of the season. He does not have a 4-hit game. Winkler ready with his 1-2. It's way high. JT Realmuto, a third-round pick back in 2010. It's proving to be a tough out here in the 6th inning.
Third-round pick.
Third-round pick.
I bet he got some pretty good money for third round though, because he was headed to college to play football. Outstanding high school quarterback.
Carl Albert High School in Midwest City, Oklahoma. And now the 2-2 is skied to right. And that's playable for Markakis. Been playing a few tricks with it, but he stayed with it. And that retires the Marlins in the top of the 6th inning. Bottom half coming up, top of the order. Inciarte, Albies, and Freeman are due. We've got a 5-5 shootout with the Marlins. Coming up here in the 6th inning, and with Ender Inciarte leading off, it's time for our AARP Getting to Know You feature.
Last 162 games. So going back a little bit into last season for what constitutes a full schedule of 162 games, 2nd in hits, singles, 6th in runs scored. That's a leadoff man there.
I was going to say that's everything you would want out of your leadoff hitter.
Well, he picked up hit 185 today back in the 3rd inning, part of the Braves' 5-run frame. One of Atlanta's 5 hits. So 5's the number. 5-5 scored. As Inciarte, Albies, and Freeman are coming up against Nicolino. Bouncing ball to second, and the throw to first right on the money. No trouble for Aviles. Ender's retired, 1 away. Washington's winning their game 3-0 now over the Phillies. If Washington wins, their magic number would be trimmed to 1. So if they take care of their business and that game ends before ours, you know, they'll be sitting in the clubhouse waiting and watching for the outcome of this game. The reason for that is if the Braves can beat Miami, that eliminates the Marlins, who are in 2nd place, and the Nationals would claim the Eastern Division title.
I'd a lot rather see them clinch today.
I would too, rather than us be in town beginning Tuesday.
Well, that and the fact that it'd be a Braves win.
Two balls, no strikes for Ozzie, who's hitting .281 at the moment and drove in his 17th run back in the third.
Ozzie's got a lot of moving parts on his swing, especially right-handed. But if he gets that foot down in time, it all works real well together. Excellent bat speed.
That smoked into center field on a 3-1 count. So another multi-hit game for Ozzie Albies. He's been on base 4 more times today, by the way, with 2 walks and 2 hits.
Is that a changeup?
Changeup. I like the selection, but not the execution. A little bit up.
So Albies now with 10 multi-hit games. That's his 8th 2-hit game. And he's got a lead at first. And Freddie Freeman in the box. Freddie's 0 for 2 with a walk. He didn't get it. It's 0-2. Ground ball again to second. And the flip to second. One on to first. It's in time. It's a double play. And the Braves are out of luck in inning number 6. We head to the 7th. Stay tuned. Giancarlo Stanton's coming up. We're tied up 5 apiece.
We head to the 7th here at SunTrust Park. Time for an Xfinity game break. No disrespect to the defending world champion Cubs and the Diamondbacks. But the way the Dodgers are struggling now, you have to like the Nats' chances. They're feeling confident they may finally get to the Fall Classic. Today, hosting the Phillies, Strasburg dialed in. He's allowed only 2 hits, walked only 1, struck out 10. They're in the bottom of the 8th. Trey Turner has just gone deep with his ninth. It is 3-0, and the bubbly is starting to chill, fellas.
Boy, did that look awesome there, Jerome. He was a lot of late life on his fastball. Good breaking pitch.
Yeah, you certainly look at the Dodgers. There's, how good they were, how bad they've been. The Cubbies kind of up and down all year long. The Nationals might finally be peaking at the right time in the season. Getting guys healthy, getting guys back.
Yeah, they've played just right. I mean, A-OK without Bryce Harper,
who is playing catch, and that's about it so far for Dusty Baker. And look, Braves want to beat the Nats as much as they want to beat anybody else. But this might be Dusty Baker's finest hour, considering all the injuries he has had to deal with that Washington team. At one point, they'd used 13 different outfielders. Think about that.
Wow.
13 different outfielders in a single season.
Man.
Extended absences for Eaton and Worth and Harper and Trey Turner. Scherzer's been banged up a time or two. Roark went through a real rough patch. Their bullpen was a disaster in the first half of the year. They managed to patch that together until they got Doolittle and Madsen and company to fortify their late inning relief corps. Now all that's missing is getting Harper back at some point here in the last 3 weeks. Get him back into game shape and get him ready for the postseason. Two-2 pitch, and Stanton takes high and tight. It's 3-2. Stanton singled and scored in his last at bat. And he just took strike 3 right down Broadway. 1 out.
Surely he didn't get caught guessing there, did he? Take one right there. Boy, thank you.
So Winkler gets Giancarlo Stanton, and that's going to be the last pitch he throws today. He goes an inning and a third with a couple of strikeouts. Brian Snitker goes back into his bullpen. Lefty coming on for Christian Yelich. He will stand in as Miami continues to hit here in the 7th. Marlins continue to bat here in the 7th inning. It'll be AJ Minter on to face Christian Yelich, as the fans from South Florida indeed are hoping for the best on what has been a awful day all across the Florida Peninsula.
I heard something really crazy today on the Weather Channel about Naples and that area. that they had not had a direct hit from a hurricane since 1960, and it was on this exact date.
What are the odds?
Nuts.
So our prayers go out to the folks in South Florida. Hang in there as Christian Yelich digs in here in Atlanta with a 1-for-3 day. And he grounds to the right side. Ozzie had it in the glove. It popped out, and then he kicked it into foul ground. So 2 more hits for Christian Yelich, giving him 21 against the Braves this year.
Now, did he drop this ball out of his glove and kick the ball, or did he kick his glove?
I think it came out of his glove and he kicked it.
Yeah. Tough break. Had it.
Oh my.
Oh, come on.
They're going to charge an error on that play.
I'm
Really?
not. I'm giving it a hit.
Me too. I'm not even going to put it in my book as an error. What the hey? Good grief.
Tyler Moore's the batter. He's 0-for-3, but has an RBI and a ground out. That came in the Marlins' 5th inning. And a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. He had to cover a lot of ground. Fast runner.
I'm saying, do you score that? I'm sorry. Do you score that an error because you think it's just a routine play that should have been made, or because you're used to seeing him make such plays, so therefore, because he didn't, we're going to call that an error? I mean, that's a hard play.
Even if he fields it cleanly, with his momentum carrying him toward the line, he's got to throw across his body.
Yeah, and Yelich can run.
And can run.
You have to assume that he was going to get an out. That it was going to be a routine out.
Right.
Therefore, it's an error. And that was a crock. A dial.
That one might get changed. Hope so. As Moore awaits a 1-2 pitch from A.J. Minter. And here it is. And he just struck out the Marlins left fielder.
I worked with a guy once who, on occasions like that, would have said, "Take over, Joe. I'm going to be right back."
Yep.
And then everybody in the press row would hunker down.
So 2 outs in the inning. Here's Justin Bohr, who's 0-for-2 with a walk. And up and away. 1 ball, no strikes. In the Atlanta 7th, Markakis, Flowers, and Lane Adams will be the trio coming up. Got the call for an even count.
I like AJ and the way he's been working. I'll say again, we talk about all the young pitchers. We inadvertently leave him out a lot. We're talking about the young starters. He's not a starter, but boy, he's got a good arm.
Popped him up. Ender and Markakis look at each other, and it's Ender who takes over and makes the play, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, 1 error with an asterisk, and 1 man left. 7th inning stretch time here at SunTrust Park, and as is customary here on home Sundays, Timothy Miller will make his way to the center of the diamond, and our friends from South Florida, coastal South Carolina, and coastal Georgia will have a chance to enjoy the wonderful singing voice of one of the great voices here in Atlanta, Georgia, Timothy Miller, as he leads us in another stirring rendition of God Bless America, as the Braves and Fish wrap up the homestand and this 4-game series today at SunTrust Park.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
You can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports out and Braves baseball with you wherever you go. Presented by Honda Generators. Bottom of the 7th inning. It's 5-5. Braves and Fighting Fish trying to wrap up the series. Time for our Sherwin-Williams Painting the Corners feature.
Braves did a nice job of bouncing back from that 3-run deficit. They got 5 in the 3rd. But the Marlins have come back to tie it up. JT Realmuto's had a good day for the Fish, 3 out of 4. But Atlanta up and down the lineup had real good contributions in that 3rd inning. 5 runs on 4 hits.
So Markakis leads off for Atlanta. Nicolino turns it loose and delivers ball 1. Nick's hit the ball hard a couple of times. Doesn't look like the wrist is a problem for him. He's also walked and scored a run. Breaking ball in for a strike. Washington has won. They beat the Phillies 3-2. So they are tuned into this game, hoping to clinch the division with a Braves victory this afternoon. Fly ball shallow center. Yelich is coming on and he's going to get there for the first out. Here's Tyler Flowers, the Braves catcher, a bases loaded single in the 3rd that brought home 2 runs. All of Atlanta's runs came in the 3rd inning. They scored 5 times. off of Adrismer Despaigne, who walked 6 men in 3 2/3 innings. But it's a battle of the bullpens right now as Nicolino, former starter, pitching long relief, much needed relief for Miami. He's gone 2 2/3 innings so far. And a shot to left by Flowers. There's a 1-out single, his second hit of the day.
His hand appears to be okay. That changeup again, Tom.
Yep. Up again a little bit.
So Lane Adams is going to come up and hit. Don Mattingly is going to come out with the lineup card. And it looks like we're going to have a couple of changes for the Fish, with the game tied and the go-ahead run aboard for Atlanta here in the 7th inning. 5-5 game. Don Mattingly again will look to his bullpen. We'll tell you who the new pitcher and defenders are for the Fish when we come back to Atlanta right after the break. Just inside the left field gate at SunTrust Park, and find out how to get a free T-shirt and learn more about Chevy's award-winning lineup. Be sure to check out the 2017 Chevy Colorado and all new 2018 Chevy Equinox on display, plus at weekend games fans get a free commemorative picture taken with the Braves wrapped Chevy Silverado High Desert Edition, located outside the left field gate. Georgia Drive Chevy, find new roads.
Love their pickups. Good looking.
Junichi Tozawa is on for the Marlins. Ichiro Suzuki has taken over for Tyler Moore in left field on the double switch. Suzuki's going to bat ninth, one would presume. And the first one to Lane Adams, missed upstairs from Tozawa.
Fastball split primarily for Tozawa. Low 90s fastball.
This guy's been around a while with the Boston Red Sox, of course. And a fly ball to left for Ichiro. He makes the play. Tozawa got a 2-year deal. He signed through the end of next season. After pitching 302 games with the Boston Red Sox starting in 2009.
I don't think their return has been quite what they wanted with a 5.80 ERA. 45 innings, 8 homers. And they also signed Chen to a long term, not long term, but a lot of money.
Yeah, it's like a 4-year deal. And he's been hurt.
That'd be long enough.
Volquez, Tommy John surgery. He's probably done for next season, or at least the vast majority of it. So the Marlins with pitching issues in the starting rotation. You can understand the logic. They went out and got Tozawa, a veteran guy, to help stabilize the relief corps. Just hasn't translated down in Miami this year. Johan Camargo, a 2-run hit, highlights his offensive day. That's 5 RBIs for him in this series. He homered and singled in last night's game, which was won by Arodys Vizcaíno in relief. That one was 6-5. Might have a similar score today. The pitch up and away and out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Good crowd again today. Hoping for another Braves win late in the late innings. 4 walk-off wins against the Marlins this year.
The 1-2 pitch. And if there's been a section of the game where the Braves have done their best work, as we have told you over and over again, it has been from the 7th inning on. The Braves have scored 240 runs in the last segments of the game. Need 1 more to take a lead here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball towards Stanton, who drifts back, still drifting. It's caught as he slams into the wall. That's the first ball we've seen carry on this windy day in Atlanta, and Giancarlo Stanton kept drifting and drifting, and he held on as he banged into the tall wall in right, and that ends the Atlanta 7th. If he doesn't catch it, Atlanta's got the lead. Great catch by Stanton. That completes 7 innings. We're tied 5-5. Let's send it out to Jerome Jurenovich for today's big story. Jerome.
Okay, thank you, Chip. After that big catch, time for the big story, and that, of course, is the big name that'll be here one day. Ronald Acuna, Baseball America's Minor League Player of the Year. Everybody wins that award every year, and they always have big numbers. But Nick Green, in high Class A, he was roughly 4 years younger than the average Florida State League player. Then he moves up to Double A. He was 5 years younger than the average player there. And then at AAA International League, he was 8 years younger than those guys. Still led all minor leagues with 181 hits, hit 325, 21 bombs, stole 44 and 64 attempts. The guy is lightning. When are we going to see him up here?
Well, we'll definitely see him at some point next year. This guy is as advertised, all the accolades he deserves. I've seen him down in Gwinnett this year. He does things 19-year-olds should not be able to do. He's able to take 3-0 pitches for home runs the other way. He does everything that we expect a veteran guy to do. You see the 60 extra base hits, the 44 stolen bases, 139 games. I've seen him take a 2-0 changeup for a home run, go back up the middle with 2-strike pitches. The approach is so advanced. This kid is major league ready. We'll see him at some point next year.
As you mentioned, the 31 doubles and 8 triples to go along with those 21 home runs. Play front office here. Do you start him right out there day one, opening day? Is he on the roster, or do you push that clock back and bring him up at the end of May?
Well, I think he's ready for sure. If they have a spot for him, you have to get him up here, but you have to play him every day. You think Ozzie Albies is exciting? This kid's just as exciting, and he has home run power. So it's going to be fun to watch and see what they decide to do. You have to open up a spot for him at some point.
All right, fellas. Can't wait to see him up here. Let's get it back to you.
Thank you very much, Jerome and Nick. Excellent analysis. Also can't wait to see Ronald Acuna and the rest of the Braves youngsters who will be filling up spring training camp in Orlando next year. That is going to be an exciting time for this franchise. And before you know it, we'll be talking about pitchers and catchers reporting for 2018. Here's one of the pitchers we're excited about this year. Jose Ramirez is on to pitch the 8th inning with the lower part of the order coming up. Ramirez has had an excellent season this year for the Braves, and Tommy, as Joe has said so many times, key for him, get that first guy and give yourself a chance.
Yeah, get that first guy, work ahead.
Gave up a double to the leadoff guy, or the first guy he faced last night.
This is Brian Anderson leading off, and he takes a strike.
I like what we've seen of this guy in this series.
Good looking young player. It's in 7 of his first 9 games since getting called up. Makes all the plays at third base.
He made a great play over there. He and Rojas on that ground ball in the hole to get that force out. Choked up on the bat a little bit.
Anderson, Aviles, and Rojas are the first three scheduled. Ichiro. And a swing and a miss. So the first man is retired. Good start by Ramirez. And it's not going to be Aviles, but they're going to bring Dee Gordon on to pinch hit now. Gordon did not start this game. He's riding a 13-game hitting streak after a fourth-inning hit last night. So that's a nice weapon for Don Mattingly. All about Gordon's speed, so critical you keep him off the bases here. Fly ball belted right field. Dee Gordon has hit a pinch hit home run.
Are you kidding me? Well, it wasn't the first batter. His second homer of the year.
How about that way to extend your hitting streak to another game? 14 in a row for Gordon, his second home run of the season.
Yeah, was that a little slider or cutter? Or?
I think it was a slider that just was a cement mixer.
First career pinch hit homer. And his last homer since July 26th, when he hit one against Yu Darvish when he was with the Rangers. So Miami takes a 6-5 lead in stunning fashion. They've scored the last 3 runs of this game.
Yeah, I've kind of forgotten with him coming up there. I've forgotten all about the hitting streak. What a way to extend it.
Yeah,
Man.
right. So Rojas with a 1-1 count. He's got a couple of hits and an RBI today. Ow. Right in the left hip. Remember, Rojas seemed to bang up his shoulder when he dove back to first base in the 6th inning. So he'll be encased in ice when he gets on the charter and heads to Philadelphia after the game.
Anything to keep it from hitting him in the ribs, even if it took a little jump to try to get out of the way.
Ichiro Suzuki has his first at bat of the game. Told you the other night, Suzuki picked up his 2,500th single as a North American Major Leagues hitter. Jeter, Cobb, Collins, Wee Willie Keeler, Pete Rose, others to have reached 2,500 singles. He is amazing. 0-2 the count.
It's the 3rd outing in 4 days for Jose Ramirez, and he's allowed hits in each of those 4 outings. Excuse me, 4 outings.
Fly ball center. That's well hit. It chases Ender back. He'll make the grab for the second out.
Let me clarify that. 4th outing in 5 days and hits in all 4 outings.
Well, we mentioned earlier in this series, in fact, it was one of our topics of conversation last night. The Braves bullpen has really had trouble since the 1st of July. They entered last night's action with a 5.56 ERA, the highest ERA in the major leagues since the 1st of July. And there are some limitations that Brian Snitker is forced to endure with some of the guys that are out there. He's got guys coming back from injury that he has to worry about using on back-to-back games. Dan Winkler is a guy that comes to mind immediately. A.J. Minter, as good as he's been, has only worked back-to-back games once this season, and that was in the minor leagues back in July. Then you factor in who's hot, who's not. You factor in matchups, lefty-lefty, etc. At times there are very few choices for Brian Snitker at this point in the season. There have been 3 real reliable guys for him. Ramirez has been one of them. But today the home run puts Miami in front off the bat of Dee Gordon.
Scoring change on that ground ball. No error for Ozzie. Base hit for Yelich.
There's no scoring on my score. Change on my scorecard.
Nope, no erasing here.
Well, that's 2 of us.
How many hits did you say for Yelich? 22 on the year. Is that what you said?
21 now.
21.
And that's upstairs. 3 balls and a strike. So it's not surprising those numbers that I'm pointing out to you with regards to the Braves relief corps. Some of that has to do with young staff not taking the ball very deep into games. Some of that has to do with ineffectiveness, inexperience, shaking off rust and getting back after injury. As Real Muto hits one a mile high toward left, but it's no secret fixing the pin is going to be a very big task for John Coppolella this coming off season. Dee Gordon with a pinch hit homer with 1 out puts Miami in front. We go to the home 8th. ACC Saturdays on South, presented by Ford. The Duke Blue Devils are on a collision course with the Baylor Bears in a matchup between the ACC and the Big 12. Action kicks off Saturday at 12:30 Eastern on Fox Sports South and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Home 8th, 6-5. Miami has the lead. Another 1-run game. This time, however, the Marlins lead Atlanta. Dee Gordon will check back into the game, or stay in the game, and play second base. And Tazawa back to work. He has a chance to pick up a win.
Well, 1-run game. Braves have them right where they want them.
Yep.
Braves have outscored Miami 26-19 from the 7th inning and beyond in the head-to-head series this year. 1 to tie, 2 to take the lead. They've got 6 outs left here at home. And it'll be Ruiz, then Micah Johnson, then Ender Inciarte. Ground ball right side off the pocket of the glove of Bohr, but he recovers, and Tazawa got to the bag. And there's the first out. So Johnson, I believe, is called back, and yes, it'll be Jace Peterson now. Jace has done a heck of a job off the bench of late for the Braves.
Yeah, he's really come around since his recall, and especially off the bench.
7 for 19 as a pinch hitter.
Yeah, 368 average and a 429 on base percentage as a pinch hitter.
And a strike for Jace Peterson. Just got the final tally from Beth Marshall for the number of tickets given away by the Braves for the evacuees during this weekend series. Pretty impressive number. First the 0-1 pitch. Braves donated or allowed fans to come up, present their ID, and get a free pass to the game. 18,562 fans over 4 days.
Isn't that great? That is just wonderful.
1 ball, 1 strike. And that's up and in. Ball 2.
It's obviously a special situation, but just think how much difference it made having all those people here filling up the ballpark and the excitement of the ballpark.
Yeah, it's been a good atmosphere the last few nights and today.
Almost 35,000 today.
The 2-1. Right there, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Braves have 4 more games left with Miami, the final 4 games of regular season play. We hope that they'll be played at Marlins Park starting September 28th. Marlins head to Philly, and they're supposed to come home and play Milwaukee. They don't know if they'll be able to play at Marlins Park. They have made contingency plans to have that series shifted from Miami to Milwaukee if the weather situation and the living situation in Miami warrants. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And a swinging bunt. Tazawa pounces, fields, and fires. 2 out. So back to the top, and Ender Inciarte, the Braves center fielder, picked up his 10th hit of the homestand and his 185th hit this year. Part of the Braves' 5-run third. Boy, the runs came fast and furious for both R.A. Dickey and Despagne today. But after the Atlanta third, Braves haven't been able to muster much. They've left a lot of guys on base again today.
It's kind of like that game that Cole Hamels started when they got a 5-run, 5-spot off him, I think the 2nd inning, and then had no offense going after that. Somehow held on to that lead and won 5-4.
Swing and a miss. Wonder who's going to close this game for Miami.
Yeah, apparently Ziegler's got a bad back.
He's unavailable. I would assume Bearclaw's not available. Got to think Ellington's not available.
Steckenrider 3 days in a row.
Nice to make it academic. The Braves could get 2 somehow with 2 outs in the 8th. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ground ball to second. Dee Gordon, the offensive villain, makes the play, and we go to the 9th inning. Miami 6, Atlanta 5.
Braves baseball is sponsored by your local Ford dealer and the Georgia Lottery.
Chip, Joe, and Tom with you from Atlanta. We head to the 9th inning. The Washington Nationals already took care of their business today, beating the Phillies 3-2 at Nationals Park. We understand our game is being broadcast live on the big screen in Washington. I know our pal FP Santangelo is so excited about the possibility of a Washington clinch today that, like Bryce Harper, he's getting his hair cornrowed.
Well, that's cool.
In celebration. So
they've got hair.
So FP, good luck with that. We'll see if the Braves can take care of business here in the final inning.
You know, FP's already changed clothes. He's ready to hit the street, baby.
With a day off tomorrow in Washington?
Yeah,
pretty good chance. So we'll see our friends in Washington on Tuesday night. First things first, however, got to take care of Stanton and the Marlins. Can't give them any more. Braves will have their 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the bottom of the 9th inning as Matt Whistler checks in to face Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton with 54 homers. Number 54 came in the first inning last night. And I think it was measured 456 feet. Into the bleachers in left center field.
It was loud. I know that.
Stanton didn't mean to and fouled it off. A ball and a strike. Lights have come on here in Atlanta. Right, sunny day to start. Cool and cloudy and breezy pretty much from the second inning on. As Giancarlo backs away from that one high. Ball 2.
I don't want him to do it against the Braves. He's only got probably one more at bat here. But I hope he hits 65 homers.
The pitch. Swing and a drive deep right center field. That ball a laser. And it ricochets past Inciarte. Markakis backs it up. And Stanton almost knocked that wall down with that drive. That was a seeing eye missile. Wow.
About 10 feet to the left, it's a homer in the bullpen. And if Ender had the better angle on it, he might have held him to a single.
Yeah, I could have easily held him to a single, but I don't think Ender's seen too many balls come off the wall in that area as quickly as this one did this year.
No. Oh, wow. That's just a couple of feet.
After it hit, I want to see how cleanly the ball rolled, because I'll bet you it's flat on one side. Maybe two.
Maybe two.
Man, oh man, what a shot by Stanton. He's in scoring position for Christian Yelich. We got the proper scoring change for his 7th inning at bat. Change from an error to a hit. And Whistler misses low. 1 ball, no strikes.
If I'm a pitcher, that's one guy I want to make sure that doesn't hit the ball back at me. That's Stanton.
Yeah.
There may be no defense. What a change, though, for Stanton. Batting second, closing his stance, and hitting the ball to right and right center that he never used to do.
Yeah, that funny little swing he took on the first slider. You don't see him do that, or haven't seen him do that much this year. He did it a lot in the last couple of years.
Well, especially against the Braves. I mean, let's look. Stanton has 13 hits and 52 at bats coming into today's action against the Braves. .250 average. Lifetime, a .211 mark with 119 strikeouts in 365 at bats.
Oh, they owned him.
This is not the same Giancarlo Stanton.
No.
Two balls and a strike. And fouled away. It's now 2-2. So let me ask you guys this question. Marlins aren't going to make the playoffs this year. It's going to be a struggle for them to get to 500. They very well could. Despite that, is Giancarlo Stanton, as he approaches 60 home runs, the MVP of the league?
I mean, he deserves to be in the conversation, obviously, but I just don't think with them not making the playoffs, I don't think it's that monstrous a year for him to overcome that.
Fly ball center. That chases Ender back toward the gap. Not going to get it. That's up against the bullpen fence. Stanton broke back towards second. He's getting the green light by Freddie Gonzalez, and he's going to score an insurance run. So it's 7-5 Miami, back-to-back doubles.
You could tell on the pitch before where he rolled foul that Yelich was, for the first time in a long time, trying to pull the ball. He was trying to get Stanton over to third base. That pitch was even running away from him a little bit, and he still got around to pull it and hit it hard. What a hitter.
So for Yelich, 22 hits in 58 at-bats against the Braves. And Marcell Ozuna is going to come on and pinch hit. He got a rare day off. Ozuna with 32 homers and 109 RBIs himself. Man, oh man, you think of this Marlins lineup with any kind of consistent starting pitching, where would they have been? One ball, no strikes. And out of play, right side, foul. We'll do it again. 1-1 the count.
Add-on runs. Talk about it all the time. Not being able to hold somebody off to give your offense a chance, and instead of going to the bottom of the ninth just needing one to tie, now you need two at least.
The Braves have given up now 102 runs after the All-Star break out of their bullpen. Whistler has given up 13 of them in 12+ innings. Two balls and a strike, and now 2-2. In fairness to Matt, he's got company. That's what's so disappointing. The Braves have scored enough runs. As we've said a lot of times, it's tough to outscore a major league opponent. It's almost impossible to do that and outscore your own pen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball hit up the middle. Camargo will fire to first in time. Productive out for Marcell Ozuna. He gets Yelich to third base with 1 out. And that'll be all for Matt Whistler, who faces 3 hitters. Gets an out, 2 hits, a run, no walks or strikeouts. And Brian Snitker will have to call on a 5th Braves reliever to stop the bleeding here in the 9th inning. Miami 7, Atlanta 5. We continue from SunTrust Park after this. Trust Park, Saturday, September 22nd, and get your very own Bobby Cox replica statue presented by Coca-Cola. That's available for the first 20,000 fans through the gates. Go to Braves.com/tickets and get your seats today. Love that statue.
Me too.
Can't think of a more. Well, actually, I can. I can think of one more way you could have a statue of Bobby, and that's with him yelling at an umpire. However, for so many years at Turner Field, Bobby sat or stood on his perch right at the dugout steps and cheered on the Braves on his way to a Hall of Fame career. So Ian Kroll is on for the 47th time. He's got Justin Bour up there, who's 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. And a sweeping slider has Bour behind the count. Interesting shift for Atlanta. You've got Freeman and Albies in at first and second. Johan Camargo is playing right in front of the second base bag.
That's hard to see.
Right? Look at him. Peering around to see what's coming. Now he backs up. And a good pitch. It's 0-2. Bour, a fly ball to right. That should be deep enough. And it will be. Bour with 2 strikes puts it in play and drives home Yelich with a big sac fly, and Miami has a 3-run lead. So both those runs charged to Matt Whistler. And once again, Brian Anderson's coming up. In the Atlanta ninth, Albies, Freeman, and Nick Markakis the first 3. The Braves now need 3 to tie. Grounded toward third. Nice pick. Long throw, Rio. He's got his man at first, and that retires the side. Back-to-back doubles and a sacrifice fly pad the Miami lead. We'll find out who pitches the ninth next. It's 8-5 Marlins. And the Tantrums will perform a free post-game concert here at SunTrust Park Saturday, September 23rd, when the Phillies are in town. And if you want to see the show up close and personal, you can get a field pass for just $20. Go to Braves.com/Fitz and the Tantrums and get all the details. Braves need 3 to tie, 4 to win as we come up in the bottom of the ninth inning. Braves have done an excellent job walking off Miami, but it won't be easy. Harlan Garcia is going to come on and try to finish it off for Don Mattingly.
He's worked a lot in this series already too, but he did have last night off. 2/3 of an inning in game 2, 2/3 of an inning in game 1.
This is only his second save opportunity of the year. He failed to convert his first opportunity. He's been an excellent setup man, but because of the unavailabilities we mentioned, he's the first man up to try to get 3 outs with a 3-run lead. Ozzie Albies bangs one down by the Marlins dugout foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that bounced off his body, so he's hobbled a bit. Good day for the Braves second baseman. He'll take a 9-game hitting streak into Washington on Tuesday night. He's also walked twice.
Oh, right off the top of his foot. Shin guard didn't help. Still hurting.
And then, of course, he stands out of the box and out of force of habit, uses the bat to tap his shoes and get the dirt out of his cleats. That seems kind of counterproductive, right? Upstairs, 2 balls and a strike.
Guys hit the toe of their shoes these days out of habit more than anything else. We used to hit the side of our foot to knock the dirt out, and I can't tell you how many times I cracked myself in the ankle.
Swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Freddie Freeman next, then Nick Markakis. Braves lost Matt Adams to a hamstring problem earlier in the game. Hope it's not serious. Pitch. And up and away, out of play. Off day for Atlanta tomorrow. It was scheduled to be a home game or home night off for the Braves tonight, but with the hurricane winds and rain headed to Georgia, the Braves are getting out of town tonight. Fly ball, that's well hit. Ichiro onto the track, though, is going to have room, and he makes the play. He just missed, hitting a solo home run. 1 out.
Sounded like he either broke his bat or got it a little bit off the end, or both.
Freddie's 0 for 3 today with a walk. And Garcia drops in a strike. Just a little inside. Milwaukee's beating the Cubs today. That's 3-1 in the 8th inning. The Brewers are trying to sweep the Cubs at Wrigley Field. They win that game, they'll be 2 back.
Wow.
The Cardinals winning 7-0. They could be 2 back in the suddenly very tight National League Central. Out of play, 1-2. And if Craig Counsell doesn't get a lot of consideration for manager of the year in the National League, there's no justice. I don't know if he's going to win it. I don't have a vote. But he has done an amazing job with a team that very few thought would be this competitive, this good, this late.
I totally agree. Guy out in Arizona might get a few votes too.
Yes, sir. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Freddie didn't mean to. That would have been ball 3. Tough break for Freddie.
Obviously pounding him in, try to prevent him from extending. Trying to keep him from diving across the plate. Now they're going away.
And a full count. Braves need base runners. See if Freeman can start a 1-out rally for the Braves, who have walked off 4 times against the Marlins this year, and twice in this series. Line drive into right field, a base hit. So Freeman with 10 hits on the homestand. He's aboard with 1 out, and that brings up Nick Markakis.
3-2 count. Wanted to make him hit his way on, and he did on a 95-mile-an-hour heater. And able to extend on that. Tom, how many hundreds of times did you stand out there after throwing a pitch and didn't get a swing, and you like, how can you not swing at that?
A lot. A lot.
Help me out here.
Yeah. That's where, yeah, it's just.
I was thinking about the slider right before Freddie got a base hit.
Yeah. And then it gets you to play that game in your mind where you're like, all right, are you seeing the ball that good, or were you just really looking for that, or trying to figure out what he's telling you to dictate your next pitch. And
2-0 to Markakis. If he gets on, things get very interesting. You've got Tyler Flowers waiting on deck, Lane Adams, then Camargo. Remember, the Braves have a pretty full bench. Matt Kemp is lurking down there, Dansby Swanson, Kurt Suzuki. So Braves are hoping for a little more help from Garcia. 2 balls, no strikes. And out of play, foul, 2-1. Big gap in right center if Nick can pull a ball that way. He's got a ton of acreage in right as well. And he shoots one toward left center field. Ichiro on the run trying to cut it off. Freeman on his way to third. The throw comes into second, and the Braves are in business. Second and third with 1 out. 36 doubles from Markakis.
Well, here we go again. It's like a deja vu all over again. The add-on runs really come back to haunt you late, when before all you needed was 1. Now you need 3, so you just got to keep hacking away. And the Braves have done this type of thing all year long. Nice to see Nick back in the lineup.
240 runs, 7th inning or later, and now Flowers with 11 home runs has a chance to tie it up. And now Don Mattingly again is going to come out. What an agonizing feeling it has to be for a major league manager in a game like this, when you don't have many options, and the options you have are very inexperienced. So this, like we've said of so many of the Braves pitchers, Tommy, is a learning experience for Garcia. And anyone who says, I would think, that the last 3 outs are no different than the other 24, well, here's Exhibit A.
Listen, outs 22, 23, and 24 are much different than 25, 26, and 27. That's just a fact, and people who have not played the game don't understand that. It's different. It's a different mentality, and like you say, when your hands are tied a little bit as a manager, it's not a good situation to be in.
Looked like Don was giving distinct instructions on how he wanted this to play out here.
Flowers has 2 hits, 2 RBIs today. 2 Braves aboard for him here. And something off speed, a changeup. And Tyler didn't get it.
Good pitch. He's been aggressive all day. He's usually aggressive all the time anyway, but certainly today on the first pitch, and with runners in scoring position again, feed on that aggressiveness. Good changeup.
The 0-1. Pop fly out of play. It's 0-2. So change up, then a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. And now Tyler has a fight on his hands with Lane Adams waiting on deck. If the Braves win, they win the series. And Washington clinches the East. The Nats and their fans are waiting for the outcome at Nationals Park, where we will be on Tuesday night. Now the 0-2 pitch. Swinging a ground ball hit toward third. That's going to score a run. The throw to first is in time. And Markakis is at second. 2 outs. Freeman scores to make it an 8-6 game. And Lane Adams will again represent the tying run, but fellas, this time with 2 out.
Hard hit ball by Tyler, just right at him.
Yeah, guarding the line.
Well, Lane Adams has hit one of the longest home runs we've seen at SunTrust Park this year, up into the Henry Aaron Terrace above the visitors' bullpen. See if Garcia hangs something for him to launch. Downstairs, ball 1. And again, Real Muto out for a chat. You cannot put Adams aboard if you're Miami. You've got Camargo waiting next, and he would be the winning run.
Already thrown 21 pitches.
And how big are the 2 ninth-inning runs looking right now? Awfully big. The pitch. Tipped and foul plate. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A couple of really good changeups. First one to Flowers and that one.
Lane didn't offer. 2 balls and a strike. He hits a little chopper. They're going to have to hurry to get Lane Adams, one of the fastest guys, if not the fastest guy on the team. But it may not matter if Garcia can't throw a strike. It's 3-1.
Unbutton your shirt, Lane, but shrink that strike zone down to a real small area where you want it.
Yeah, you got to be looking for whatever pitch you think you can hit out of the ballpark. That's got to be it, nothing else.
Checked to swing and took a strike.
See if he goes back to that changeup here.
I think that's an excellent call.
The 3-2 pitch is inside, ball 4, and the Braves bring the winning run to the plate. And Don Mattingly looking for some Tums. So here's Camargo, switch hitter. And Don Mattingly is not going to let him hit right-handed, not with a .391 average and 3 of his 4 homers. So he's going to have to go to his bullpen again. The Braves have 2 on, they have 2 out, they trail by 2, and this late inning drama continues in Atlanta.
League. 18 wins in their last at bat. That's tied for the most in the National League. And as we told you earlier, already 4 walk-off wins here at SunTrust Park against the Marlins this season.
So it'll be Johan Camargo from the left side facing Javi Guerra, who was signed as a minor league free agent after last season. He's been in the big leagues with the Dodgers, the White Sox, and the Angels. He has faced the Braves before, and historically they have pummeled him. We'll see what happens here with 2 on and 2 outs in a 2-run game.
Throws hard, good mid-90s fastball and a slider.
First pitch, Camargo bangs it foul to the on-deck circle, strike 1.
Mattingly had him in L.A., knows him real well and trusts him for this situation.
We've said it so many times, the Braves don't always win, but they always give you a finish. They're doing the same thing here in the 9th. Down 8-6. Swing and a drive, hammered foul.
Mercy.
Right size, wrong shape, but it's 0-2.
Tried to run a fastball in on his hands, and boy, did he turn on it. But 0-2.
See if he goes something soft away now or hard back in there.
If he's got his slider working, if he's warmed up and felt like it was pretty good, he's got a couple of options with it, including backdoor off the plate.
The 0-2 pitch. Swinging a ground ball hit toward short. That ball is flagged down. There'll be no play. The bases are loaded on an infield hit.
Don Mattingly's got to be saying, you got to be kidding me. Can't they just make an out? Bad miss on location and a nice job by Camargo to take it that way. Rojas saved a run, at least temporarily.
Well, now with the speed aboard for the Braves, a single could tie the game. You've got Rio Ruiz up there, 0 for 3 with a walk. No place to put him. And a pop fly, foul, and out of play, strike 1. Big moment hasn't scared this guy, and now Atlanta's going to pinch run Dansby Swanson for Johan Camargo. Remember, Camargo just coming back from that bone bruise on his knee. Not sure if he's at top speed on the bases yet. Dansby can fly, so you get a gapper here and things will get real interesting. No balls and a strike. Wind howling out toward right. The pitch. Fly ball foul. It's 0-2.
0-2 again. And you runners, especially Lane Adams at second and Swanson at first also, you got to be heads up with Real Muto. He'll pick you off in a heartbeat.
Markakis, Lane Adams, the potential tying run. Swanson, the winning run at first. But it's 0-2. And here it is.
It's right where Real Muto wanted it. He wanted a high fastball to see if he'd chase.
Matt Kemp has grabbed a bat. If the inning continues, he'll be next for Brian Snitker. And now the 1-2 pitch. Hot shot toward third. Bat high. 1 run is in. Here comes Adams. The game is tied. Twice the Braves down to their last strike. They come through and tie the game with 3 in the 9th inning.
Not much Anderson could have done about this. Rio fights it off his fist. Ugly hop. And with Lane Adams running at second base, absolutely zero chance to cut him down.
So do the Braves have one more 9th inning miracle in them. One more hit. And Atlanta can take 3 out of 4.
And they can dance in the streets of Washington.
Well, a pretty good feeling they're dancing right now that it's tied. The pitch to Kemp. Off the end of his bat and fouled away. Strike 1.
Couple of really good at bats and swings behind in the count by 2 kids, Camargo and Ruiz.
No balls and a strike. High fly ball toward right. Stanton is going to have room in the corner. He's got it, and that ends the 9th inning. Free baseball in Atlanta. The drama building in Washington. It continues in Atlanta. 8-8 after 9. SunTrust Park on Friday, September 15th, and celebrate Georgia Tech night and get the one-of-a-kind co-branded Tech and Braves hat, part of the special ticket package. Don't want to miss this one. If you're a Tech fan, go to braves.com/Georgia Tech and get this special ticket pack before it sells out. Atlanta, with 3 runs in the 9th inning, has tied the game. Dansby Swanson will remain and play shortstop. And Arodys Vizcaíno is on for his 57th game. He'll try to shut him down in the 10th and give the top of the Atlanta order a chance to win it for the Braves.
Arodys picked up the win last night when the Braves rallied in the 9th inning with the walk-off. That was his 4th win.
So Dee Gordon is the batter. Gordon stunned everybody with an 8th inning pinch hit home run off Jose Ramirez. And he slashes this one toward left. Nice jump by Lane Adams to get there. If he doesn't, that's real trouble. Instead, Gordon's the first out.
What a rally. You don't often get too many 3-run rallies in the 9th inning after the first out's been made.
So here's Miguel Rojas. He's got a couple of hits. He's been hit by a pitch. And he takes a strike.
Good life today from Vizcaino.
Ichiro Suzuki is the man on deck for Miami. Woo. Yeah, he's bringing it. Up and out of play. And a fan from Marco Island, Florida, makes the catch.
Well, I'm glad they got here.
No balls, 2 strikes. Base is empty for Rojas. The pitch. Ground ball hit toward Ozzie at second. He'll gather that one in. And Ichiro, the final hope for the Marlins in the 10th. Ichiro flied out to center in the 8th. Backed away from that live fastball at 97. 1 ball, no strikes.
That's a situation where you might see Ichiro try and get started early, see if he can't hook one here. Not going to do anything with that pitch.
No. And it's hard to know when he's going to try and hook one because he's wading into the pitch every time.
And don't be fooled by that swing.
No.
If he wanted to in his younger days, he could probably hit 20 home runs a year. I'd say he's done just fine with his approach. The all-time greats. The pitch is lifted high in the air toward left. Plenty of room for Lane Adams. Nothing doing for Miami. Top of the order coming up. The Braves will try to walk off in the 10th. History can repeat itself. It's happened 4 times so far this year. Head-to-head for the Braves against the Marlins. 4 walk-offs among the 9 Atlanta victories against Miami in 2017. And in this series, 2 of them have happened. Kurt Suzuki with a game-winning hit on Thursday. And then the always exciting walk-off bases-loaded walk. They brought home Dansby Swanson. A couple of ice baths for Atlanta. His offense continues to be anything but cold. 8 runs on 11 hits for the Braves today. And fellas, right guys, right time. Inciarte, Albies, and Freddie Freeman with a chance to send us to D.C. with a win. Guerra back out there for Don Mattingly.
And keep in mind, this is only his 6th game. He's been in the big leagues before. He's certainly this year not been in any situations like this.
Anderson in on the grass in case Ender thinks about a bunt. Bohr way back at first. And the pitch is slashed out of play left side. It's 0-2.
Well, this has been a good count for him, for Atlanta.
Yeah.
And with the 0-2 count, Anderson backs off the grass, moves well off the line at third base. Ender could guide one that way, he'd run for a long time. The 0-2 pitch. Grounded to first, however. Bohr makes the play. And the 10th inning starts the way the 9th inning starts, without number 1. And now Ozzie Albies the batter. Two singles, 2 walks, a run, and an RBI for Albies. And he had a good cut, fouled it back. Rockies lead the Dodgers again, 2-0 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Cardinals shut out the Pirates 7-0. In Arizona, Diamondbacks 1, San Diego 1. That game's in the 3rd. The pitch. Swing and a high fly ball hammered deep right. Stanton back. That ball is caught up against the wall again. 2 great catches by Stanton in this game. He's almost knocked down that brick wall. He's made 2 great catches against that brick wall today.
I think Ozzie thought he got this. That and then the frustration of knowing that it wasn't even a double. What a play. 2 outstanding plays by Stanton.
Now Freeman smokes one. Dee Gordon to a knee to make the play. And the Braves got 2 rockets and nothing to show for them in the 10th inning. We continue to the 11th. Top of the Miami orders coming up. As we've played 10 in Atlanta. Braves just had the top of their order up against Javi Guerra. Albies and Freeman hit 2 bullets, but were retired. Now Miami has the top of its order coming up. And Arodys Vizcaíno's going back out for another inning. Why not? He had a quick and easy 1, 2, 3, 10th. Not many pitches.
Yeah,
just
9. 8 of them strikes.
But Real Muto, Stanton, and Yelich, the trio coming up first. They have 8 of Miami's 11 hits today. Well, Muto has 3 of them. And caught a corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sharply hit into center field. Real Muto, a 4-hit game. Big turnaround first. He'll slam on the brakes. And that's how the top of the 11th starts.
I was just thinking about how this inning starts. Real Muto, Stanton, Yelich. I can think of a lot of lineups I'd rather face late in the ball game or in extra innings than these guys.
Well, Giancarlo Stanton has a couple of hits today, a single and a double. Also 2 great defensive plays. This is power versus power in the 11th. The pitch. 26 of Stanton's 54 homers this year have put the Marlins in front.
1 for 5 in his career against Vizcaíno.
Giancarlo will occasionally hit the ball on the ground. He's bounced into 13 double plays this year. Second most on the team to Marcell Ozuna's 17.
I can just about promise you none of them were slow rollers.
Pretty good bet. 1-1 is swung on late. 98 miles an hour with sink.
His fastball's been down in the zone. It's had some late life on it. Another good slider here.
It was a good one. And that's the Giancarlo Stanton swing we have seen in years past. That tells you how good he has been. That may be the worst swing he's taken out of all of his hacks in this series.
Look at his weight. If you saw that swing again, his weight was all on his heels. He didn't want any part of Arodys Vizcaíno.
Now a different challenge for Arodys. He's got the left-hand hitting Christian Yelich up there, and he's 3 for 5. Yelich has 157 hits this year. 22 of them have come against the Braves.
Man, it's also 3 for 5 against Vizcaíno.
Yelich is hitting to 11 double plays. The pitch. Ground ball slowly hit towards short. They flip quickly to second in time. Heads up play by Dansby Swanson. Knew the catcher was running. Took a chance. Got the leading runner. And that is the second out of the inning.
That's a big play. It would have been easy just to ignore that and get the easy out at first base. But he, on that little flip, kept the potential winning run from being in scoring position.
So the pitcher spot is up for the Marlins. It'll be Thomas Telis, a switch hitter. He's 2 for 12 as a pinch hitter for Miami. He was called up July 25th. He's been up and down between Miami and New Orleans 3 separate times this year. This guy can hit a fastball.
Yes, he can. We've seen him in a start or two do just that.
His last homer October 2nd last year against Max Scherzer. One ball, no strikes. Ground ball past Freeman into right field. Yelich around second, on his way to third. Markakis' throw is on line to Freddie Freeman. So a pinch hit double for Talise. And Justin Bour is coming up.
And it was a fastball and in on him.
Yeah, mislocation a little bit.
Freddie was doing the right thing there after holding the runner on. He was guarding the line.
So Bour just flips the bat away on the on deck circle and heads to first base. And that'll be Brian Anderson coming up with the bases loaded for Miami. You might recall he was the man that stood in front of that bat hop ground ball off the bat of Rio Ruiz that led to the game tying run scoring. You know, he's thinking about a bit of redemption here. He's had a good series, 4 hits, including his first 2 big league RBIs against Atlanta here at SunTrust. There's nowhere to put him. And an excellent choice for strike 1. So Javi Guerra out of the game after an inning and a third of 2-hit ball. And he's ahead of him 0-2 now.
Another good fastball.
One more strike to get to send us to the home 11th. And Arody's ready. Here it is. Just fouled away. Vance Worley and Dustin McGowan are getting ready in the Miami pen.
Yeah, Don Mattingly's now getting to a point where whether you were supposed to pitch today or not, you may have to.
Anderson ready. The 0-2 is caught on and missed. And Vizcaino pitches out of a bases loaded jam in the 11th. Nick Markakis, Tyler Flowers, and Lane Adams are coming up. Vizcaino with a wicked breaking ball gets Anderson, and he pumps his fist. 8-8 game. Eight 24 combined hits. Both clubs have left 10 men on base through 10.5 innings today. Braves Live presented by Xfinity is coming up after our ball game. Hopefully it'll be a Braves victory and a chance to win 3 out of 4. If Atlanta wins, it will also end Miami's hopes for winning the East. The Washington Nationals, we understand, are standing by in their locker room waiting for the outcome of this game. If the Braves do win, they're going to come out and salute the fans at Nationals Park, as they will have clinched the 2017 Eastern Division title.
Might have to put a little more ice on that beer and champagne while they're waiting.
Well, Nick Markakis will lead off against Vance Worley, who signed with Miami as a minor league free agent in April. He made 8 starts at New Orleans, went 2-5. Made 7 starts as a Marlins starter and had a .571 ERA. He's been around a long time and has not had a whole lot of luck this year in either a starting role or a relief role for Miami.
Fastball, slider, occasional curve. Fastball nowadays high 80s, low 90s.
Well, you look at his last 5 appearances, 4 of them as a starter. He has given up a ton of runs, 20 earned runs in 19 2/3 innings.
Wow.
Including 3 runs in relief against Washington September 6th. The pitch. Ground ball hit towards short. And the throw to first is in time to get Nick Markakis for out number 1. Here's Tyler Flowers. He's got a 3 RBI day. Tyler's 1 for 2 against Vance Worley. And a ground ball that's through for a hit. 3-hit game for Tyler.
First pitch hacking again.
Yeah. And again, the Braves have a bench full of catchers if they choose to pinch run for him. Micah Johnson's still over there.
That's the choice. So good day for Tyler Flowers. So another fast man up there. It's Lane Adams, who walked with 2 outs on a 3-2 pitch in the 9th inning and scored the tying run.
I like this matchup. A mislocated fastball.
Swing and a drive deep toward left. The ball is out of here.
Good call, Joe.
Two parties going on.
The Braves walk off the Marlins for the 5th time this year. And with that mighty clout, Lane Adams just became the toast of Washington, because that long ball clinches the National League East for the Nationals today. Atlanta takes 3 out of 4 and wins 10-8.
Right down the middle. They were jumping out of the dugout here. They were jumping up and down in the clubhouse in D.C. You could hear corks popping all the way in the southeast.
So it's a happy flight for Atlanta on a very emotional weekend. And while we celebrate this victory against the Marlins, we wish them and their families all the best under very trying circumstances. Let's join Andre Aldrich with today's hitting hero, Lane Adams.
Lane, describe the feeling you're having right now as we continue to keep walking off these Marlins.
Fun, wow, exciting. I mean, there's a lot of words that you could describe it, but right now I'm kind of almost at a loss for words.
It's unbelievable what happened in the 9th inning for us to get here. Talk us through some of the heroics we saw there. Rio Ruiz in an 0-2 situation, 1-2 situation, and he was 0 for 3 at the plate at that point. You also have Camargo 0-2.
Shoot, baby!
We knew it was coming. It's all part of the walk-off. But the 9th inning heroics from your teammates.
Yeah.
I got part of that too. So
always set up and down the lineup, put together good at bats. We got Freddie got us going. Then when Marquez followed, and we just kept stringing them together, and that's just what we kind of been about all year, is fighting until the very end. That's what we do, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
9th walk-off of the season, 19th time you guys have won in your last at bat. I mean, is that really a feeling everybody in this dugout has?
Oh yeah, I mean we expect to win. I mean we feel like we're always in a ball game. You know, we've proven time and time again we can come back behind, and you know, I think we as a team we accept the challenge and we take it head on, and you know, those are situations you got to want to be in, and you know, and I think we like to be in them.
Final question before I let you go. You also have to give a little love to Vizcaino for going 2 innings.
Yeah, he came in, went 2. He's not really used to going 2, but he came in, went 2 strong, and you know, it was just all around. It took every guy on our roster to pull that one off. So it'll be a happy flight up to Washington tonight. Absolutely.
Great job, man. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you very much.
So Lane Adams will go warm up after a cold shower in the 11th inning. A walk-off home run. And we're told by our great stat guy, Jared Burleson, this is the first time in Braves franchise history they had 3 walk-offs in one series. And Atlanta did that to the Marlins again today. 10-8 the final score. They win 3 out of 4, and we will wish the Marlins all the best and hope for the best when we see them fellas in our final series on the road this year.
Yeah, a lot on their mind. You can certainly understand that. They were a little shorthanded in the pen today. That proved to be the difference.
Yeah, good series, good weekend for the Braves. Like we've talked about all weekend, they never quit. And, you know, paid off in the end 3 times, 3 big wins.
Quick up and back trip to Washington. Our coverage of Braves baseball with the Nationals will start Tuesday night. Julio Teheran and Gio Gonzalez. Our coverage today continues on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. That's coming up after the break.